again, everybody. Bill Merrill, along with Ken Suarez, Jim Birdsong, greeting you from Arlington Stadium, where we're just moments away from the first pitch in tonight's third game of the series between the Rangers and the Angels. Last night, Texas winning 7-0 and 8-4 as they swept the doubleheader and vaulted in front of California into second place, only a half game behind front-running Kansas City. Tonight, it'll be left-hander John Matlack with a record of 5-8 going against Dave Frost. He gets his first start of the year just recently called up from Salt Lake City. So we'll see what the young man from formerly with the Chicago White Sox, where he won one and lost one last year, has to show this year. Managers Jim Fregosi of California, Bill Hunter of the Rangers out meeting with the umpires at home plate, and we'll be back with the starting lineups in just 60 seconds.
Boy, you feel proud when you got a truck. You know it's really built to stay tough. It's a riding high feeling all the way in a Stay Tough truck. Stay Tough truck from Chevrolet.
You got the feeling it's time to trade in your old truck? Well, maybe you should see your Chevy dealer during Chevrolet's Tough Truck Trading Days, because he's ready to deal on a whole line of tough Chevy trucks. Chevy 3/4-ton pickups, Chevy vans, Chevy Blazers, Chevy Loves. He's got a great selection of trucks in stock to choose from. So go see your Chevy dealer today during Tough Truck Trading Days. And remember, he needs used trucks now.
Boy, you feel proud when you got a truck. You know it's really built to stay tough. It's a riding high feeling all the way in a Stay Tough truck from Chevrolet.
Here's the way Jim Fregosi, Angels manager, will line up his 9 in the ball game tonight. Leading off, playing second base, will be Bobby Grich. Hitting second at shortstop, Dave Chalk. Batting third in right field, Lyman Bostock. Batting fourth in left field, Joe Rudy. At first base, hitting fifth, will be Don Baylor. Merv Rettenman will be the designated hitter and bat sixth. Batting seventh will be Dave McAmer at third base. He's a last-minute replacement for Ron Jackson, who injured his chest here yesterday. Hitting eighth in center field will be Rick Miller, and batting ninth, doing the catching, will be Brian Downing, and on the mound will be right-hander Dave Frost. Rangers will lead off with Mike Hargrove at first base. Batting second will be Bert Campaneris at shortstop. Hitting third at second base, Bump Wills. Batting fourth in left field, Richie Zisk. Hitting fifth in right field will be Bobby Bonds. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight last streaming through the stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the mountains red flags on bursting in air, yet flew through the night, and the light was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner again wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Continuing with the Ranger lineup, as we mentioned, Bobby Bonds batting fifth in right field, serving as the designated hitter, and batting sixth will be Pat Putnam. Hitting seventh, doing the catching, Jim Sundberg. Batting eighth and playing at third base will be Toby Harrah, and batting ninth in center field will be Bobby Thompson. Left-hander John Matlack on the mound. Ken, Matlack has been a man that has not had a lot of run support this year.
No, I bet you he sat around the game last night and saw Fergie get all those runs, and or both games, and kind of wish they saved a couple of them for tonight. But you know, with the guys are getting hot, they're much more aggressive as out at batting practice, and they're loose, and that's a good sign.
Certainly, and in the last six starts, the Rangers have been able to muster only 8 runs for Matlack, and that covers a period of 50 and a third innings. And in 7 of his 8 losses this year, he's been staked to 2 runs or less. And his wins have been over New York 2-1, Cleveland 3-1, Baltimore 9-3. That's a biggie. Oakland 4-3, and Seattle 3-2. He'll be looking at California for the first time ever. What can we expect out of John tonight?
Well, I guess John has been very consistent this year. He's got a good curveball. He keeps the ball down, throws strikes. He won't overpower you. And, I think it'll just take a couple of games for the guys to relax behind John and score some runs. And once they get in the habit of doing it, I think it'll be quite a combination there.
Situation developed when perhaps a team will try too hard for a particular pitcher when they have not been scoring for it.
Right. Can't give you a reason for it, but it just happens. And the guys maybe try too hard.
All right, here we go. Durwood Merrill, the umpire behind the plate. Marty Springstead up at first. Larry Barnett at second. And Jim Evans down at third. And right-handed batting Bobby Gritch stands in. Pitch to him, swung on. Little looper. Hit to the shortstop, Bert Campaneris. Right on the edge of the outfield grass. Has it for the out. Well, he came right in on his fist and sawed that bat off in his hand, and he popped it up to the shortstop, Bert Campaneris. One up, one pitch, one gone, and that brings on shortstop Dave Chalk, hitting at 267 overall. By the way, Gritch was hitting at 226 coming in. Chalk, no homers and 15 runs batted in. He was 2 out of 6 for a 333 average and had a run batted in yesterday's doubleheader. Dave has been used most everywhere in that infield from third to second. Here's a pitch through for a strike call. 0-1. Bostock is the on-back batter. Jost underway. The temperature is 98 degrees. Wind southeast 10 to 20 miles an hour. Pitch, swing and a miss, and the count runs out to no balls, 2 strikes. So Chalk up there, down in the count, 0-2. Outfield not too deep in right and center, and Ziss just about straight away and in a normal position in left. Pitch runs away from the right-handed batter and is taken outside. Count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2. Jim Sundberg working behind the plate. And left-hander John Matlack on the mound. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So they're 2 up and 2 down. Matlack registering his first strikeout of the ball game.
Came at him, Bill, with a real good fastball. It's one of those pitches, it's right about the knee high, right on the inside. There's not much you can do with it. Chalk's changed his stance a little bit. He's choking up on the bat almost to the trademark.
He really is up on.
I shouldn't laugh about that, though.
I think you used to do the same thing a little bit, you not?
Well, you keep your shirt buttoned, that's for sure.
Here's Bostock, left-handed batter, swinging on a good change-up curve and missing. Strike 1. Bostock hitting at 279. He was 3 for 8 yesterday, at 375 average. He has a homer and 26 runs batted in. And Matlack comes to him. There's the ball hit on the ground. Ooh, what a fine stop by Hargrove at first base. Matlack covers in time with the foot out, and you can put a star by that one. That one was already by Hargrove, and as he whirled around, he hung it in the glove, got up, and tossed to Matlack covering for the out. Excellent play. That'll do it in the first inning for California. Nothing happening, and the score, the Angels nothing, the Rangers coming to bat.
If you drive along the highway or make tracks across the snow, even biking across the country, Champion is the way to go. If you soar across the skyway or go cruising out to sea, if you're into racing go-karts, Champion is the plug you need. You can't buy a better plug, can't rely on a better plug. For any engine, big or small, Champion sparks them all.
If your lawn gets longer the time that it takes you to start your power mower, try replacing the old worn spark plug with a fresh Champion plug. A fresh Champion can give your power mower faster starts and better performance all season long. And you'll have the time to enjoy summer that much more. For a power mower that starts faster and performs better,
you can't buy a better plug, can't rely on a better plug. For any engine, big or small, Champion sparks them all. For any engine, big or small, Champion sparks them all.
Broadcast of the Texas Ranger baseball games are the property of the Texas Ranger Baseball Network. Any reproduction without the prior written consent of the Rangers Network is prohibited. Radio and television broadcasting rights of the Texas Ranger baseball games are owned and operated by the Texas Ranger Baseball Network, a division of the City of Arlington. General managers, sportscasters, engineers, and directors of these broadcasts are employed and compensated for services by the City of Arlington, Texas. Mike Hargrove will lead it off, and what a fine play he made to close out the inning.
I guess you might say that was a big league play all the way.
Certainly was, and actually that ball was hit off of the bat of Bostock so hard that it had actually gotten behind Hargrove, and he swirled and made a fine backhanded stab of it. and righted himself, made the toss to Matlock, and he got over there in a hurry for the putout. And here's Mike coming on. He's hitting at 261. He was 2 for 5 in yesterday's doubleheader. 4 homers, 22 runs batted in. Campaneris and Wills to follow here in the last of the first inning. Game number 3 between these two ball clubs, and like last year, way up in the latter part of June before they first meet in competition. We mentioned Dave Frost is a big guy. He's 6'6" and weighs 235 pounds. 6 feet 6, 235. 1-1 with Chicago last year. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball 1. He was part of that deal that brought Bobby Bonds over to Chicago. Here's the next delivery. Over for a strike, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. He indicated that he was quite happy to be traded to the California organization, and as we mentioned, was down at Salt Lake City and had been pitching there. Here's a changeup high, and the count is 2 balls, 1 strike. Last year he was 1-1, and at Salt Lake City he was 6-3, and he is making his debut for the Angels here today. And part of the Bobby Bonds deal that sent Bonds from California up to Chicago. Pitch is low, and the count runs to 3-1. Hargrove leads the Rangers in walks, has a total of 48. So he gets on bases an awful lot. 48 times on walks this year, and 61 hits. 3-1 the count on the Ranger leadoff batter Mike Hargrove, and in comes the pitch. And it's a full count, 3-2, as Mike was taking all the way. Pat Corrales coaching down at third, and Fred Koenig up at first base. Infield shading off to the right side. However, the outfield going the opposite way as they fade Hargrove to push that ball to left. Big gap is down the right field line, and in comes a 3-2 pitch. Swung on, hit foul, up and out of play down the left field side, and the count holds at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Good crowd on hand. The Rangers drawing real well last night for the doubleheader. 27,816 on tap.
When I played Bill, I guess that'd have been a good month.
Yeah, it's changed a little bit.
Yeah, it has, and of course, you know, there's nothing like winning, and they're playing exciting baseball.
Just looking, both these ball clubs hitting identical team-wise, 248. There's the ball hit in the air, the right field base hit. So Hargrove picks on a 3-2 pitch and nails it solidly into right field. Rangers have the first hit of the ball game, and that'll bring on Bert Campaneris. Campy hitting at 186, no homers and 10 runs batted in. He was 1 for 3 yesterday's doubleheader. Struck by a pitch in the second game and had to leave. And in that particular game, he had gone 1 for 1 and then put down a couple of successful sacrifice bunts and then struck by a pitch. So he's up there right now, and a chance perhaps for Bill Hunter, the Ranger manager, to call for a bunt at this particular time. And the pitch comes over the outside edge for a call, strike 1. 0-1. Campaneris taking, and the third baseman, McAmer, in on the edge of the grass, and now steps in a couple of paces. Hargrove over at first base, being held there by Don Baylor. We mentioned Jackson was slated to start at third base, but last-minute scratch as a toss over to first base. Big guy hadn't unleashed anything very hard so far, Ken.
No, he's not throwing real hard. He's over the top with everything, which from a hitter's point of view, with a good green backstop we had out center field, it's easy to see the ball off of it.
Here's the pitch, bunted off to the right side. Getting over quickly is Gritch, and just in time to take the toss from Frost for the out, and it is a successful sacrifice. Score that one pitcher to the second baseman covering at first base. And now there's one out and a man in scoring position. That was a good bunt by Campaneris, one of the more proficient players in the league at laying down the sacrifice, and that's the 11th time he's been successful this year.
Yeah, Campy's has always been a good bunter, and the secret, I guess, obviously, to being a good bunter is Campy can get the ball down within that first, foot and a half from home plate into the dirt area, and without doing that, if you get it out any further on the grass, then, of course, it turns into almost like a line drive type bunt.
Here's Bump Wills batting left against the right-hander. Pitch comes down. It's through for a strike. Wills hitting it 234, 5 homers, 24 runs batted in. He was 2 for 4 in the doubleheader. Had to be taken out of the second game. Yesterday was suffering from leg cramps. but he's right back in the lineup tonight. 1 strike on him. Hargrove down at second. And Frost works. Swing and a miss. Strike 2, 0-2. Frost first broke into baseball back in '74 with Saratoga. Then the next 3 years at Knoxville, then to Iowa, and then on to Chicago. And worked in 4 ball games, 3 starts last year. A couple of ball games he had leads and was taken out late in the game, and then the other team rallied and won the far. Came back to win. He was not involved in the decision in a couple of cases. No balls, 2 strikes. Is the count right now on Bump Wills. Richie Zisk is the on-deck batter. Hargrove, who opened the ball game for the Rangers, has a single to right field. Here's a pitch just off of the outside and low, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. And then Cabanera successfully moved Hargrove along to second base with a bunt. 1-2, the count on Wills. Good crowd on hand, and people still coming in. Next delivery, high, ball 2, strike 2, 2-2. So Frost, who got in front of Wills, 2 strikes now, has leveled the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rangers wrap up their current homestand tomorrow evening. Doc Medich will be up against Don Ossie in that ball game. 7:35. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swung on and fouled. Up the third base side, grabbed by Brian Downing, and the count rides at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now with the 2-2 count, third baseman McAmmer has backed off considerably. He was just called up recently, and from their Salt Lake City Ball Club.
You know, Bill, as the season gets longer here and it gets is as dry as it is and as hot as it is, you can see the infielders playing a little deeper. The infield's kind of hard right now. I was talking to Hunter about that.
Change up, misses high, and this guy's not afraid to go to that change and has done so 2 of the 3 batters that he's faced here in the first inning. Now, you mentioned that. I remember 74. Rangers became rather adept at hitting the ball down, and they legged out an awful lot of infield hits that year on this hard surface. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Just missed outside. Ball 4. And now, with 1 out, Rangers have 2 on, and that's the first walk given up by Dave Frost. So the right-hander giving up a base hit, and now a walk, putting 2 men on and 1 in scoring position. Richie Zisk comes on. Zisk batting at .283, 11 homers, and 46 runs batted in. Zisk was 2 out of 7 in yesterday's doubleheader. So he's hitting at .286, almost the identical average that he has against California. Big right-handed batter comes on for the first time in tonight's ball game. Wind could be a factor, blowing 10 to 20 miles an hour out of the southeast, which means from center field toward home or from right field toward home. So anything hit in the center field or right field area in the air very high will be affected by the wind here again tonight. Check of second on the pitch. Zisk fouled sharply off to the right side. Strike 1. No score in case you just joined us. California was up and down in order in the first inning, and the Rangers taking their cut here in the first. Have a threat going, and the middle of the lineup in there right now. Zisk, 4th hitter, standing in with a 1-strike count on him. Dave Frost, big guy, throws. There's a ball hit to left field. Coming on is Rudy. Not going to be able to get it. Traps it, kicks away from him. The bases are loaded. As the throw comes in, cut off by McAmmer. And the bases are loaded for Bobby Bonds. So it's a base hit. Hargrove has to go to third, hold there. Wills down to second, and Zisk sends 1 to left. The runners actually had to hold a little bit because there was a chance that Rudy might get to it, but he bounced in front of him.
Yeah, Joe went after the ball, and at first looked like he was going to be able to make the play, and then he kind of stopped, and I didn't know what he was going to do, and I'm sure that Mike had the same feeling, so we ended up with bases loaded instead of the run scoring. But
Brady may have been doing a pretty good job of decoying out there, too.
Well, you know, Bill, at this time, it's this time of day, it's still hard to see the ball, and of course the sun is setting back over that way, so that could have been part of the problem that Joe had.
Here's Bonds. Swings, bouncing ball on the ground to shortstop. Chalk to second for 1. The throw back to first. In time. Double play. And they get out of it as Bonds bounces into a double play. Short second to first. Chalk, Rich to Baylor. That'll do it. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. And the Rangers strand a pair. We go to the second with a score. Texas nothing, California nothing.
When do you think? Whenever the moment
just right for a great beer. When do you say Budweiser? Whenever the good times are moving to right here. After the work is done, while you're still having fun, anytime's the right time to say it. When do you say Budweiser? Bud will beer for any time at all. When do you say Budweiser? The smile on your face tells the world what you're thinking. 'Cause when you say Budweiser, the number one beer is what you'll be drinking. After the work is done, while you're still having fun, the king of beers is waiting for your call. When you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
All-American Night is coming up July 7th here at Arlington Stadium. It'll be baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet night. Chevrolet will be giving away an amazing new two-door hatchback Chevy Chevette. You can register now and as often as you like at your participating Tarrant and Dallas County dealerships. And you'll also be registering for a chance to win 2 8-day luxury vacations for two in Hawaii. And, of course, there's a 25-cent discount coupon on Fry Wieners from Fry Meats. Plus, a certificate for free apple pie from Jack in the Box. So be sure and register often as you wish at your Tarrant and Dallas County participating Chevrolet dealerships. That's All-American Night, July 7th. Here's Joe Rudy. Looks at a pitch, takes it for a strike. I'd like to mention that John Miller off on another assignment tonight, and we're happy to have with us Ken Suarez. 1 strike and nothing on Rudy, who's hitting at 200. Pitch comes down to him, soft curve, and it's a little low, and the count is 1-1. Rudy getting off, Ken, I guess, to as slow a start as he's ever gotten off to in his major league career.
Yeah, Joe was, other than his first couple of years in pro ball, where before he changed his stance and went to the standing and swing the way he does now, this is the worst start he's ever had, and I'm sure it's...
Matlack throws one by him, and it's 1-2. Swinging strike. Happy birthday, Bill Ziegler, trainer of the Texas Rangers. I didn't know trainers ever had birthdays.
Did he tell us how many years it was?
No, he didn't.
He's like a ball player. He's lying about it. Don't you believe what you read?
Nah, he's one of the real, true, fine gentlemen in this game. Bill Ziegler, Ranger trainer. There's a strike call. And down goes Rudy on strikes. Caught him yesterday with the bases loaded in a 4-3 ball game at that particular time. And Reggie Cleveland got him on strike. That's second strikeout registered by Matlack on a called third one.
Durwood was the home plate umpire. Durwood Merle was a little slow in calling. I think Joe realized it was a strike, and so did Sonny. He was a little slow in calling it.
All right, here we go with Don Baylor hitting at 248. There's a pitch in for a strike. Well, he's got a routine he goes through with those strikes now, so it takes a little time to get all those cogs going and wheel him off to the right side to call that shot, you know. Next pitch, swung on, hit on the ground. Campaneris way it short. Charges, comes up with the ball, throws, and gets Baylor by a lot. So there's 2 up, 2 down as Baylor rolls out. Here's a guy, Baylor, talking about him. He's hitting only 248, but you talk about a hard 248. He has 18 home runs and 46 runs batted in.
When he came in, when I was still with the Rangers, when he was with Baltimore, we would get him out, but it was always a case where he got the meat of the bat on the ball. He hit the ball hard almost all the time, and it always has been a very impressive hitter.
Here's Redmond. Takes a pitch inside for a ball. Talking of former Baltimore player, here's one that spent some time there and went over to San Diego and was signed on by California this spring, back in March. He's hitting at 261. 1 homer and 10 runs batted in. Right-handed batter wraps one on the ground. Campaneris to his right. In the hole, comes up with it. Tosses, pulls, Hargrove off of the bag. Wheels around, cannot get back in time. And Redmond is safe at first base on a shortstop throwing error. So an error on the throw allows California their first runner of the ball game with 2 down here in the second inning. And Dave McAmer, the third baseman, is the batter. McAmer hitting at 167 is coming on. Has not appeared all that much, just recently called up. Appearing in his third ball game, and he has 1 hit in 6 plate appearances for that 167 average. And one of those, that 1 hit was a home run. He has 1 run batted in. Here's a pitch to him, over for a strike. Stands well back in the box and crowds the plate pretty much. He had a home run his first trip up in the major leagues and joined several others in that category that have been able to pull off that feat. Checked by Matlack of the runner at first. The left-hander throws, swung on a little blooper, hit in the infield. Wills comes on, picks up on the grass, throws, and not in time. That one could go as a base hit and probably will. Matlack jammed him right on the fist. Sounded like he busted the bat.
Yeah, it was one of those we were talking about, I guess, the last time I was here, where a guy swings real hard, Bill, and the infielders get caught kind of flat-footed, and the ball in the, I guess it was only about halfway between Matlack and the dirt. And Bump made a good play, just making it as close as he did.
Certainly did, and when he first left the bat, you thought he's going to be able to stand right where he is and make the catch while it's in the air, but it just died between the pitching mound and second base. And Wills charged it, came up with it, made a snap throw, but not in time. And now, trouble is brewing as Rick Miller, center fielder, comes on. He's a left-handed batter and has hit in 9 straight ball games. He was 2 for 9 yesterday. Now hitting at .259, 1 homer and 15 runs batted in. So it's lefty against lefty right now. Downing, the catcher, is on deck. All of this occurring with 2 outs. Hard swing and a miss, strike 1. So Miller up there against the left-hander, and they have runners, Rettman down at second base, and McAmers is on at first with an infield base hit. That, by the way, was the first hit surrendered by John Matlack in the ball game. 2 on, 2 outs, no score. Rangers had him loaded up in the first inning, could not get a run. And Matlack's ready to work 0-1. A check of second, and here's the pitch. In for a strike at the knees. Good fastball.
Yeah, John dropped down a little bit that time, and now Miller wants to, I guess he wants the umpire to check the ball. I don't think he find anything on except just a good fastball went by.
Right. You know, they were talking today on a national TV game about Don Sutton. I think the Cincinnati ball club figures that he takes a sharp object out and works on that baseball a little bit.
Well, you know, if you can get away with it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me about what any of them would do.
Well, I'll tell you what, that guy has got some kind of curveball. 0-2, the count on Rick Miller right now. 2 men on, and Matlack trying to pitch out of a jam. Here's a check back at second, and the lefty comes to the plate. Started to go and holds up just in time as it rides outside. And the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Incidentally, on that first strike out of Rudy, it was a called third strike. The ball was dropped by Sundberg, and he fired it down to Hargrove, and it was a 2-3 put out, in case you keep that close of statistics on a ball game. 1-2, the count right now on Rick Miller, and here's the pitch. Swung on, drill, foul. Count holds at 1-2. Ball shot back up in the mezzanine area off to the left side. How many we got here so far tonight, Ken?
Oh, I would have to guess. Well, where's our producer? The last time I was here, he did the good job, and then we got Bird up here that I don't know what's above us, but let's guess 23, 24.
I believe he'll beat that.
All right. 30.
Jim
30. I just heard an echo back there.
30. Over 30. Well, we'll find out. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Rick Miller, hanging tough in there against John Matlack. And here's the pitch. He struck him out swinging. Down goes Miller on strikes. 3rd strikeout registered by Matlack, and that one was a good one because it came with 2 men on. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 stranded. We head to the Rangers second with the score: Texas 0, California 0.
The sporty Chevy Monza.
When you're driving down the road and you're moving through a curve and your car's looking good, it's showing lots of nerve. It's a Monza, a Chevrolet.
Whoever thought a car that looked so good, moved so well, would be priced so low? Only $3,659. That's the manufacturer's suggested retail price, including dealer preparation, for Monza 2+2 hatchback coupe. Tax, license, destination charges, and available equipment extra. Chevy Monza, $3,659. A very stylish little number.
When you're turning lots ahead, standing up above the herd, and your car's moving smooth, start spreading the word. It's a Monza, a Chevrolet.
Chevy Monza, $3,659. For a car so sporty and so well equipped, it's priced surprisingly low.
Monza, a Chevrolet.
See your local Chevrolet dealer now.
Ranger designated hitter Pat Putnam will lead it off here in the Rangers second. And before he steps in, let's pause 10 seconds. For station identification, this is the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
WBAP 820, Fort Worth, Dallas. George Goebel says save now on all Bemco posture mattress sets at Manley's Furniture, Marshall, Texas.
Incidentally, tomorrow will be the final game of the homestand, and you fans won't want to miss that. It'll be Doc Medich going against Don Ossie in the end of a 11-game homestand, a couple of doubleheaders thrown in. The Rangers lost a doubleheader to Toronto to open the homestand and then swept the doubleheader from California last night. Here's Putnam hitting at .211. Left-handed batter and be the first man up here in the inning. Looks at one a little bit low, and it's 1-0. Putnam, Sundberg, and Hara. Rangers loaded the bases on a couple of base hits and a walk in the first inning, but then were taken right out of it. Next delivery swung on. There's the drive, hit to straightaway center field. Rick Miller right there, hardly had to move, and grabs it for out number 1. In the National League today, the Los Angeles Dodgers won over Cincinnati as their battle continues in the National League West. 4-3 the final, Sutton the winner, and Hume takes the loss. Atlanta was defeated by San Francisco's Giants 2-1. Pittsburgh won over New York 7-4, and other action tonight, no score between Montreal and St. Louis after 2 innings. After 5, it's Chicago 2 and Philadelphia 5. And Houston at San Diego as yet not underway. Notice where Gaylord Perry won number 8 last night for the Padres. Pitches over the outside corner to Sundberg. 1 strike and nothing.
I guess those hamburgers agree with him.
Yeah, I guess they do. He pitched his 50th shutout of his major league career. Here's the next delivery. Sundberg fouls the ball off to the right side. And the count is 1-1 apparently. I thought it first pitch got the outside, but apparently not. So Sundberg's up there, nobody on, 1 out. In the American League, Boston continues to win and win big. 8-3 was their verdict over Baltimore this afternoon. That's 2 in a row over the Baltimore Ball Club. Pitch is swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boston now has won 49 and lost 21. They're 28 games over 500, and you think they're not setting some kind of pace for the rest of the league in the East to try to catch up to? 1 ball, 2 strikes on Sundberg. Hara will be next. Dave Frost delivers a high pitch. Like that one got away from him a little bit, and the count is 2-2.
Looks like to be the first curveball that he's attempted to throw. Basically, everything he's thrown has been fastballs and sliders except for a couple of straight changes, and that, I guess, would have to be his curveball.
All right, here's the 2-2 pitch. Sundberg rips it. Ooh, what a jumping catch by McNamara at third base. Well, he took a base hit away from him, no doubt about that. Super play by the third baseman, Dave McNamara, and he robbed Sundberg of perhaps 2 bases.
Frost came back with a slider, got it up, and Sonny lined it real good, but the little guy got up, made a heck of a play out of it.
Really did. Elsewhere in the American League tonight, New York 3, Detroit 3. That's through 2 innings of play. Toronto 1 and Cleveland 4. Oakland nothing. Kansas City batting in the first inning. Here's Hara. Toby looks at a strike. Hara hitting at 192, or rather 193. 2 homers and 16 runs batted in. Frost right back, and he's up high again with a changeup. Usually, you would expect a guy this big, Ken, to throw that ball very hard, but so far he has not been more of a finesse-type pitcher.
No, and of course he's thrown all of his breaking balls when he's been ahead, so it's kind of an indication that he doesn't probably have good control with his breaking ball, or he'd be throwing it when he's behind.
Harris swings and fouls the next delivery back upstairs, out of play, and the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, nobody on, scoreless ball game, and the Rangers second. Minnesota 1, Chicago nothing. That's after 1 inning. Seattle and Milwaukee, no score after 1. Next pitch, low and away, and the count is 1 ball, or rather 2 balls, 2 strikes now, 2 outs on the Rangers. Game number 69 for Texas. Coming in today in second place, 4 games over 500. 3rd time this year they've been at that level. Pitch swung on, popped up. Right side, maybe playable. Coming back as a catcher, Downing. On the track, up against the screen, and let's see. He's out of our view and apparently unable to hold on to it. Umpire coming right back, and boy, he disappears when he gets right up against that screen. But fortunately for Harry, he was unable to hang on to it. The ball got up against the wire netting there, and the count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think it'd be a good break for Tobley. Normally, when you're going bad like that, guys jump in the stands, in the dugout, they catch everything you hit. So
all over the rail.
When you're going bad, they make super plays on you.
Maybe a good omen. Frost ready with a 2-2 pitch, and here it is. High, ball 3, full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes on Harem. Well, the Rangers had an awful good opportunity in that first inning. Could not capitalize on it. Texas incidentally raised their batting average 2 points team-wise yesterday in the doubleheader. Also up the run production. There's a drive to left field. That's going to be trouble if it's fair, and it's down the line in there for extra bases. Rudy plays it off of the wall, and Hera stands at second with a double. He caught that one just right, and Toby rips his 7th double of the year into left field. So with 2 outs, the Rangers have something going, and that'll bring on center fielder Bobby Thompson.
You know, Bill, Toby did something when he got the 2 strikes that he hasn't been doing, at least that I wasn't aware of. He closed his stance a little bit, moved up on the plate, and Toby was always able to go the other way, protect the plate. And, you know, when a guy's going through what he's going through now, you try every stance, every swing, every bat, and pretty soon he'll find the combination, and Toby will hit 4 years over.
Well, he found one he could pull, and he really popped that one down the left field line. All right, here's Thompson hitting at 215. Pitch to him, swung on. Reach out and get that one, Ken.
I'll tell you one thing. I jump back.
Yeah.
I'm used to having a mecha score.
I think we're going to have to put that gear on you, man. Get some shin guards. Boy, I thought I was bad.
Oh, man.
101. Ooh, Cleveland is putting some runs on the boards against the Blue Jays. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 on Thompson. Cleveland has scored 9 runs, 4 in the 3rd and 5 in the 4th inning. Alexander's hit his 12th home run. Cleveland in the 4th, a grand slammer. Well, they have a 9-1 lead over Toronto after 4 innings of play tonight. 2 strikes the count on Bobby Thompson, a man in scoring position and a man that can run. Toby Hera, he has a big lead, and now a chalk will bluff him back into second, and Frost steps off the rubber. Well, Kansas City did a little scoring of their own in the 1st inning, coming up with 5 runs in the 1st inning, leading Oakland 5-0. Here's the pitch to Thompson, outside and low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pete Lecoq, a home run for Kansas City in the 1st inning with 2 men on, and Kansas City scored 5 of Oakland, and they lead it 5-0 after 1 inning. 1-2, the count on Thompson. Harris running. The ball is swung on a drive. Caught by Gritch. Good play. Moving to his right rapidly. And a hard hit ball off of the bat of Thompson. Line to the second baseman, Bobby Gritch. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, a man stranded. We have completed 2, and the score, the Rangers nothing, the Angels nothing.
Cook Paint Decorating Center.
I'm painting some children's toys. Do you have little tiny cans of paint?
We sure do. It doesn't matter how large or small the job. From a half pint of enamel for a toy to a tight car full for a bridge, we can provide the finish for the job.
Gee, I didn't know that.
We make finishes for just about everything. Toys, cars, appliances, you name it. Cook either pioneered it or improved it.
Cook Paint. Finest quality for home and industry.
Hawaii. No, it's not a daydream. You could be there. How? With Tradewind Tours. Tradewind Tours has been taking people like you to Hawaii longer than any other Hawaii tour company. And now you can stop dreaming about Mexico, the Orient, and the South Pacific, because Tradewind Tours will also take you there. And in 1978, Tradewind Tours goes to Europe. Don't be left dreaming. Explore the world of Tradewind Tours, because Tradewind Tours is Hawaii and the world.
In other action in the National League, Philadelphia 5 and Chicago 2. That is now through 5 innings of play. Milwaukee 2 and Seattle nothing after 2. Gorman Thomas has just hit his 17th home run for the Brewers in the 2nd with 1 man on, and they have a 2-0 lead over the Mariners. Here we go to the 3rd inning, and Brian Downing, the catcher, leads it off. Downing hitting at .219, 3 homers on the year. He was 1 for 3 in the Twin Bill yesterday. Has 12 runs batted in. First pitch comes from Matlack, low for a ball, 1 ball to nothing. Looks like California perhaps, Ken, strengthened themselves behind the plate.
Yeah, Brian's always been a real good catcher, and of course that was one of their weaknesses they had. They tried Etchebarren, got him back, and Brian's a very good catcher.
Got a young man named Goodman down in the minors that really is hitting. Here's the next delivery. Swung on a drive to left field in a hurry. Is this coming down, reaching down right over the chute top, and a fine running catch by left fielder Richie Ziz.
He got a good jump on it, Bill, and that was probably the difference between the one that Joe did played in between the 1st inning, and Richie got a super jump on it, just kept coming.
Really did, and he picked that one right off of the top of the shoelaces for out number 1 on a hard hit ball to left field. Top of the order, Bob Gritch comes on, popped up to the shortstop to open the ball game. Speaking of catchers, they signed Danny Goodwin back in '75, but he never has been able to stick up here, but he's really popping that ball in the Texas League. Pitches high and away, 1-0. Matter of fact, he's leading the Texas League and hitting .385 out at El Paso. Here's the 1-ball delivery. High breaking pitch. Took a little bit off, and the count is 2 balls, no strikes. 1 out on a good play by left fielder Richie Zisk. Retiring Downing. We're in the Angels' third. Here's the pitch. Rich pops it up, the opposite side of the infield. Buff Wills this time dances 1 step back on the right field grass and adds it for the out. So, Rich pops to the shortstop and now pops to second base. Nothing out of 2. With 2 down, brings on Dave Chalk, who was down on strikes. Dave makes his home here in the offseason, lives here in Arlington. Batting at .266. No homers, 15 runs batted in. He really is going up on that bat this year more so than ever. He must be a good 5 inches up on the handle of that bat. A little more bat control, perhaps, Ken.
It's much easier to control the bat. The biggest thing you fight is the embarrassment. Everybody standing out there looking at you. Just like, get out on the end, kid, you know?
Yeah, he takes a strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Swung on, a bouncing ball by Harrah third, grabbed by Campaneris on the grass, throws low, gets by Hargrove, and Chalk is safe at first base. Could go as a base hit. We'll wait and see. And does. Campaneris having to go well over in the hole at his shortstop position, and when he set up to make the throw, he simply could not get enough on it to beat Chalk at first base. The ball was a little bit low and got by Hargrove, but Chalk did not attempt to advance. So he's on there with a base hit. And that will be hit number 2, given up by Matlack. The other was also an infield base hit, and that was by McAmer. And he'll be looking right now at Lyman Bostock. Hargrove made a tremendous play on him to retire him to close out the first inning. There's a move over to first base, and Chalk dances back ahead of it. Lyman hitting at .278 with his trip in. He has 26 runs batted in. 3 for 9, .333 against Ranger pitching. From the bell to check, and here's the pitch. Low and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Joe Rudy would be next if Bostock can keep it going. You ever heard of a guy doing what he did early this year?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I never made enough money. I couldn't afford to give anything away. But I don't think it was a grandstand play. I talked to a couple guys, and he was serious about it.
Swings and misses on the next delivery, and it's 1-1. Gave his first month's pay to a charity. Had such a bad start. I guess he doing well enough he could afford it.
might be a tax gimmick. No, that's not right.
I don't think so.
No, he was very serious about it.
Really was. There's a move over to first base. Well, Detroit has come up with a run in the third inning, moved ahead of New York now, 4-3, and Tigers now batting in the fourth inning. They have a 1-run lead. From the bell to check of the runner and the pitch. Swing and miss. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2, 2 outs, 1 man on. Dave Chalk on at first base, virtue of an infield base hit. California spent an awful lot of money rounding up this team that they have on the field right now. But we were talking to Fregosi yesterday. In years gone by, they've had on paper what looked like a winner, but they always seem to have that 1 or 2 spots that do not produce. Thus, they do not win. Another move over to first base. Matlack wanting to try and keep Chalk close at first base. Dave, not all that big a threat to run. However, he has been successful in 4 tries this year out of 6. So has a good percentage. He's running right now. Swung on a little slow. Tap to second baseman Wills. Charges up with the ball. And he'll make the play at first in time for the out. Wills to Hargrove for the final out here in the third inning. No runs, 1 hit, and a man stranded. We head to the Ranger third with the score still Texas nothing, California nothing.
They came from across the sea, from Japan, Germany, England, Italy, bright and eager to show what they could do. They were foreigners in a foreign land. But one thing that was true in the old country was also true in the new.
You can't buy a better plug for any kind of car than Champion. You can't buy a better plug no matter where you are than Champion. Champion's #1 in the world. #1 in your car.
Imports from every country find America is the land of opportunity. The opportunity to use Champions. the world's best-selling spark plug. The plug that wins more big races. For imports, you can't buy a better plug than Champion.
You can't buy a better plug than Champion. You can't buy a better plug than Champion. You can't buy a
By the way, we'd like to remind you again that the Rangers accept mail orders, and you may write the Rangers ticket office, Post Office Box 1111, Arlington, Texas 76010, or schedule in special mail order form, or you can just send a check or money order plus 50 cents for postage and handling. And be sure to specify the date of the gate, our games that you wish to see, and the number of tickets desired, your preferred seating location, first, home, or third. Ticket price is $6, $5.50, and $5. Harris tickets $2 for adults, $1.50 for children 13 and under. Once again, that address for mail orders, Ranger Ticket Office, Post Office Box 1111, Arlington, Texas, zip code 76010. Top of the order up there, Mike Hargrove just started off for Texas. He opened the ball game with a solid smash to right field, his first trip up. Mike's sitting at 264.
You know, Bill, you were mentioning the first time Mike was up about all the base on balls he gets. You know, the thing that's tough about it when you get in the habit of getting a lot of base on balls is still staying aggressive at the plate. And Mike's one of the few guys that I've seen that's able to do that.
Next pitch low inside, and it's 2-0, and that's a great tribute to his batting eye. He has one of the better, I guess, in baseball, because he knows precisely where that strike zone is and does not strike out all that much. Next delivery over the outside edge for a call strike, and it's 2-1. Mike's been down on strikes this year now in 235 plate appearances, 25 times. If you ask him about it, he'd say that's too many.
Yeah, he would say that because of the fact that he knows that he's not going to hit many home runs, and the more balls he can put in play on the ground or line drives, the better chance he got to hit 300.
2-1 delivery, swung on, fouled, and the Ranger dugout carried away out of the dugout and almost picked up, looked like Kurt Babak was sitting down there on the step.
It bounced off the back wall, and some of the guys weren't paying attention.
Boy, loosen you up. 2-2, the count on Hargrove, starting it off for Texas in the third. Still no score. Rangers 3 hits, and the Angels a couple of base hits. Dave Frost getting his first start for California. Here's the pitch, taken low inside. The count is full, 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Steve McCaddy, who worked a couple of times here in the series with Oakland's on to pitch for Oakland in the second. And another score. Toronto came up with a couple of runs. They have 3, but Cleveland came up with another. They have 10, and it's a 10-3 Cleveland lead after now 5 full innings of play. 3-2, the count on Mike Hargrove. And the pitch comes down on the ground. A rammer down to the second baseman. Gritch gloves it on over to Baylor at first for the out. Hargrove hitting it straight in the direction of second baseman Bobby Gritch, and he converts it into out number 1 here in the third. And Bert Cavaneras will be the batter, hitting at 186. Laid down a sacrifice bunt in the first inning, his 11th of the year. Bert had 2 in the second ball game yesterday against California, and they anticipate he might try to bunt for a base hit. They bring the third baseman McNamara in on the grass. Here's the pitch, high and away, 1-0. That perhaps is hard a pitch as right-hander Frost just thrown all evening.
And it might have been a slider. He threw it so hard, and if it was a slider, it was the best pitch he's thrown, even though it was a ball.
Next delivery, cut on and fouled off to the right side, out of play, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on. Bump Wills will be next. Tomorrow night, the Rangers in this homestand, a 9-day, 11-game duration with the final game between themselves and California. Good breaking pitch over for a call. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That was a nice pitch.
Right. He's got a big slider. It's could be called a slurve. It's in between a curveball and a slider. It's too big to really be classified just as a slider, but it's a good pitch.
Here's the 1-2 delivery. Up high, and the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. So far, Rangers have touched him for 3 base hits, and he has walked a man, and that was Wills back in the first inning. He's 2-2 right now on Campaneris with 1 out. Infield is backed up a little on Bert now. A swing and a miss. Strike 3. Boy, I thought that one was going to get away, and I think Catcher must have taken that one on the finger or something, did he not, Ken?
Yeah, it looked like he did. Of course, the thing the umpire jumped out, the thing the umpire has got to be able to determine is, does the ball hit his glove first? It looked like he trapped it against his chest protector. It's got to hit his glove first in order to be considered a legal catch. If it hits his chest protector first, then he catches, it's not considered a catch.
That's a trap.
Right.
All right, 2 men are down, and here's Wills. He was on the walk. The only one given up by Frost. Takes a high delivery, a breaking pitch, failed to take, and it's 1-0. Wills hitting at .234. 5 homers, 24 runs batted in. That, by the way, was the first strikeout registered by right-hander Dave Frost. So there are 2 men gone, and a 1-ball count on Wills. The next delivery, check swing, and it's in at the knees. For a called strike, and it's 1-1. Wills batting left. The outfield finds Miller not too deep in center, very shallow center. I guess they anticipate that wind holding them up. There's other ball clubs that come in here, and they have, for instance, center fielder, the fields that he can go back, and Juan Benitez, for instance, plays a relatively shallow center. They can take away some line drive base hits by doing that and still have the ability to get back in a hurry to take away the long base hit. There's a pitch over, but low, and the count is 2 balls, 1 strike.
They're basically bunching Bump, giving him the lines in both left field and right field, playing him pretty much up the middle, straight away.
McNamara on the grass at third, and he really closed in toward the middle. There's the ball hit back up the middle. That's going to go into center field, base hit. Well, they had him played right, and he took it right where they were playing him, right back up through the middle, right over the pitcher's mound into center field, and the Rangers have their 4th base hit. And with 1 man on and 2 out, here's Richie Zisk, who had a single. And the left field, his first trip up. Zisk hitting it .286 with this plate appearance. Rangers leading RBI man, well up in the American League, in Don Baylor. Tied for 3rd place coming on tonight. Notice Rice has 65. Got another yesterday. I did not see what he may have had in today's victory. Pitch to Zisk, breaking ball low and away.
The way they're hitting, Bill, do you think that defense in Boston will make it through the year?
Well, I'll tell you what, they may have to make some repairs on it. Of course, he's hit so many over it, not hurting it that bad. 1-0 on Zisk up there with a man on at first base. Up Wills on with a base hit, so Wills is 1 for 1 tonight. Frost delivers one over to Baylor at first base. Infield really pulling Zisk around. The outfield also. They give him that right field line, and Rich is able to take that ball where it's pitched pretty well. Hit to all field. Here's the pitch low and scooped out of there nicely by Downing. 2 balls to nothing on Zisk. Bobby Bonds would be next. What a day Bonds had in that doubleheader yesterday. Oh, he had a couple of 3-run homers and knocked in 8 runs.
That's a good career
in one day. 2-0 on Zisk. Fans wanting some action. It's been a ball game but not too much. Here's the pitch. Inside, taken by Zisk, and the count runs to 3-0. So Frost falling behind Zisk, and now he's going to have to make a good pitch. He's going to put a runner in scoring position. That would be Wills on at first base. He'll be moving over to second. Here's the 3-0 delivery. Wills is running. Pitch is taken for a strike. The throw goes in, not nearly in time. Bump had that one stolen easily.
Yeah, I'd have to guess if I was a guessing man that the Bump stole that on his own. With 3-0, pitcher didn't. He came to a real quick stop. Didn't look over to first that much, and that sets up baseball.
Certainly is. And that's a 23rd steal for Wills. And he's been caught now only 3 times. So he's swiped 23 out of 26. Got to be way up among the leaders in the league, especially in percentage. Rangers have a very high percent in stolen base, 75 times. 75% of the time they've been able to steal. Here's Zisk delivering a base hit to left center. That could get a run home. Wills around third. He's going to score easily. And Zisk comes up with his second base hit, and the Rangers have a 1-0 lead. Well, that's smart baseball. A stolen base and got himself into scoring position, and Zisk promptly delivers him with his 47th RBI of the year.
Well, Bill, you know, Frost has been 3-2 on 4 hitters. He gets 3-0 to a guy like Zisk, a very disciplined hitter. 3-1 with 3-0 bump steals, and you just can't stand out there and keep throwing fastballs, especially when you're always behind, and it'll get to you.
Well, he got to him right there for 1 run, and we have a winner in our first run contest. We'll give that to you in a moment. Here's Bond swinging, bouncing ball wide at third. Up with it, McNamara throws up to second for the force out on Zisk coming down. So fielder's choice for Bonds, 5-4 for the put out. And the Rangers, however, break the ice. 1 run on a couple of base hits, and they strand a runner. And we head to inning number 4. Now it's Texas 1, California nothing.
WBAP 820.
Together, you and Metropolitan Savings can make good things happen. Metropolitan pays you the highest interest permitted by law, which is good for your investment. And Metropolitan invests your money locally to keep the economy strong. Your savings work 2 ways at Metropolitan, where we're working all the time for better times.
We're Metropolitan Savings, making good things happen for the Metroplex.
Maybe all you need to know about batteries is that they're necessary to start your car, and you want one that will start and start your car. That's just what the Delco battery was made to do. So see Roper's Auto Parts, 2400 Washington, Greenville, for a quality Delco battery, the one that supplies the instant burst of power needed to start your car, start after start. See Roper's Auto Parts, 2400 Washington in Greenville, headquarters for the AC Delco quality parts.
You can trust the Delco.
Thanks, Delco.
Delco Freedom Battery.
This lives at 3208 East Park Row. And Mr. Parr will win 2 free tickets to a Ranger home game of his choice, subject to availability. First run contest brought to you by the First National Bank of Fort Worth, where everybody knows the First is best. Mr. Parr will be notified by mail about his winnings. And if you'd like to win 2 tickets to a Ranger home game of your choice, just send a postcard to Ranger First Run Contest, care of the First National Bank of Fort Worth. Post Office Box 2260, Fort Worth, Texas, 76101. Here's Rudy swinging and fouling the first pitch away, strike 1. Joe Rudy, Don Baylor, and Merv Ruttman to bat against John Matlack, who's been given a 1-run lead on a single by left fielder Richie Zesk. Rudy hitting at 199. He was down on strikes. First trip called out and then tossed out by catcher Jim Sundberg. Then rides a 1-strike delivery. Swung on, lifted foul out of play. And while we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds. Station identification. This is the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
WBAP 820, Fort Worth, Dallas.
If you can't be in the grandstand tonight, be at the newsstand in the morning and pick up a Dallas Times-Herald Texas edition.
Matlack up in the ball strike department, 2-0 on Rudy, and here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Well, John looks to be throwing the ball real fluid motion right now. Gets Rudy for the second time in the ball game. So there's 1 man away, and that'll bring on Don Baylor.
That's twice they've gotten Rudy. Once called, of course, and then this one on a swinging third strike, and both pitches have been inside. When Joe's going good, that's the type of ball that he's inside out, as we say, and go the other way with it. But
Baylor swings on the first pitch, a little pop-up, shallow left field. Backing up rapidly is Campaneris, and Campy gets back to make the play on it. He retreated well back into left field, and the Ranger shortstop puts it away for out number 2.
Looked like a wide receiver, didn't he?
He really did, and he was doing a little backpedaling there to get back and make the catch. Here's Merv Ruttman. He was on an error. His only trip, hitting at 257. Rangers 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error. California no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. 2 men put down quickly here in the 4th inning. Well, California's having trouble scoring. They had no runs in the first game of the doubleheader yesterday, and then were beaten 8-4 in the second ball game. Trailing here 1-0 in the 4th inning of game number 3. Pitch taken for a ball just outside.
With Durwood Merle umpire, we don't need a scoreboard, do we? You can almost hear him all the way up there.
You can. I just heard that. He's letting them know. Here's the 1-ball delivery. Change up. Missing a little high, and it's 2-0. 2 balls, no strike. Dave McAmyer would be next. Yep. Ruttman can keep it going. Enfield shading him off to the left side. Pretty much a full hitter. He has 1 home run, 10 runs batted in. Pitch 10 for a strike called, and the count is 2 balls, 1 strike. Ruttman has appeared in now 31 ball games, but he's only been to the plate, counting tonight, 70 times. Here's the pitch. Taken, and it's high inside. Ball 3, strike 1. Matlack has not walked a batter. John's had a good ratio. He's worked 109 and 2/3 innings coming on tonight, and it walked only 25 batters. And he struck out 63, so a good ratio in both categories there. walked a batter tonight, and he struck out 3. Here's the 3-1 delivery. Hidden for a call, strike 2, and a full count, 3-2. That like just came at him with a good fastball that time.
Yeah, with the wind blowing in, you've got your 1-run lead. Let's take, no sense walking. Give him your best fastball, and let's see if he can get it out of here.
All right, we go to the 3-2 pitch. Swung on. There's the fly ball. Hit straightaway center. Coming on is Bobby Thompson. He's there. Makes the squeeze and the catch. Far out number 3. So it's 3 up, 3 down. And the 4th. We go to the Ranger half of the 4th inning with a score. Texas 1, California nothing.
The day is done.
Coming home.
It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind.
Welcome home.
So just say bud.
Say bud.
And pour the king of beers and settle back and please yourself. No matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of bud is like an easy chair when you say Budweiser. Hey, let me tell you something. Settling back with a long day behind you and a cold bud in front of you, my man, that's living. When you say Budweiser, you said it all. Anheuser-Busch St. Louis.
Ken, we got a real dyed-in-the-wool Ranger fan that we'd like to wish a happy birthday and a happy greeting to, and that's Wayman Tennessee Holcomb from Henning, Lauderdale County, Tennessee, and hope that he's enjoying the game tonight. Never misses a ball game. If he can get out, big Ranger booster, and a happy birthday. And we hit the Ranger lower half of the 4th inning. And Pat Putnam, the designated hitter, hit the ball very hard his first trip in. And line sharply to Rick Miller in center field to be followed by Sundberg and Harrop. Well, a 1-0 ball game, and the Rangers hold the upper hand as they picked up the run the 3rd inning. On a base hit by Wills, a swipe of second, and a single by Zist to chase him home, and that's it. Right on it. Pitcher for California, Dave Frost, starting his 4th inning, and comes to Putnam. Here's a high delivery. Took a little off, and it's 1-0. Putnam hitting at 200 right on the nose. He hasn't had an extra base hit. Been inserted in that lineup since brought up from Tucson, played in every ball game. Here's the pitch. Swung on. There's a long drive, deep and far down the right field side. Whether or not it's fair or foul. Off to the right a little bit, and it's a foul ball, but he got a lot of wood on that one.
He got out in front of it just a little bit, and he hit it up there, I guess back up to the on the walkway through there. Ball was hit pretty good.
Really popped it. Tell you what, Ben Ogilvie hit a ball as deep as any has ever been hit here, I guess, and they called it a foul ball. And it went over the flagpole down there at the foul line. There's a pitch in at the knees for a call strike, and it's 1-2. And it was about 4 rows, they said, from the top. And it wasn't all that much foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes on designated hitter Pat Putnam. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit it off at the end of the bat, right down towards second. Bad hop, grabbed by Gritch. Throws in time to get him, and that was a good recovery by Gritch. That ball took a bad hop, and he caught it with the throwing hand, the bare hand, and flipped it over to Baylor for out number 1.
Looked like as soon as it hit the grass, right, it must have hit that lip between the grass and the dirt, and it came right up on him, and it was a changeup, and Putnam got out ahead of it, hit it right off the end like a cue stick or something.
Jim Sundberg standing in, hitting at 312. He lined the ball sharply to McNamara at third base. Made a good play on him to get him in the 2nd inning. Sundberg consistently has been up over 300 all year. Strike at the knees over the outside edge. And Pat Corralo starting to holler it up down the third baseline for the Rangers, trying to get something going. They own a 1-0 lead. We're in the last of the 4th inning. Pitch change up on the ground, third base side. McNamara gloves, flips over to Baylor, pulls him out. Tagged out of there by Baylor, and there's out number 2. Throw was wide into the home plate side, first base, but Baylor came off and applied the tag as Sundberg went by him for the 2nd out. Here's Toby Harrah, line to double into left field with 2 out in the 2nd inning. So Toby's up there right now with nobody on, and 2 are out. Toby hitting at 197. 2 homers and 16 runs batted in. He's now 1 for 4 against California pitching. Here's the pitch. Runs up, bunts it down the third base side. Good bunt. McElmure fields, throws. Not in time. And Harris legged it out for a base hit. Now, Toby doing the things that try to break you out of that prolonged period of non-hitting that he's been experiencing here in 78. Good bunt, wasn't it? Beautiful bunt. He laid it right down that third base side, and it stayed on a straight line.
Perfect bunt. And, you know, you hear of the old saying that a guy can carry a ball club. This is one guy that gets hot that can carry this ball club a long ways. He has ever since he's been here. And a couple of games like this, and he gets hot, and Toby's always been a streak hitter. When he gets hot, boy, he is tough to get out.
Well, he not only hit the long ball, but he can spray that ball over the lot, and he'll as good a hit-and-run man as you'd want. Put the ball behind and play on the right side. Here's Thompson looking at one, a little bit low, and it's 1-0. But he simply found it awfully tough going to break out, but he's 2 for 2 tonight.
Toby's very knowledgeable of the game, watches the pitchers very well, and Frost has thrown a lot of breaking pitches and off-speed pitches on the first pitch, and that's what he got. It's an easy pitch to get a bunt, lay the bunt down on.
There's a move over to first base, and Toby jumps back ahead of it. Hara, 18-3 in that stolen base department, takes his lead away, and let's see if he's going to be running with 2 outs. There's another toss-over, and apparently Dave Frost figures that he might.
Looks like Toby's playing with him a little down there, leaning the other way and trying to get him to throw over.
Of course, Wills, after getting a base hit, swiped second base on a 3-0 delivery, and that set him up in scoring position, and Zisk promptly followed with a base hit on the next pitch to send him home, and the Rangers own the lead. 1-0 on the batter, Bobby Thompson. Here's the pitch to the plate low, and the count is 2 balls, no strikes. Top of the order, Mike Hargrove is on deck. A 2-out bunt single by Toby Hara has positioned him down at first base. Well, Pittsburgh has won over New York 7-4. Los Angeles beat Cincinnati this afternoon 4-3. Here's the check. Hara's running. Here's the pitch taken for a strike and no throw. He's not even going to draw a throw, and Hara has his 19th steal of the year.
Bobby did a good job helping. Then he faked a bunt or just put his bat out there, and if you do it just right with the catcher being low back there, he gets it right in the catcher's mask, and Downing had a hard time getting the ball out of his glove, and did the best thing. If you can't get him, just eat it and throw it back to the pitcher.
Well, that's Hara's 19th steal. Been caught only 3 times. Rangers now 86-28 in stolen bases. Pitches up high. Ball 3, strike 1. Hara swiped on a strike. Well, he's in scoring position now, and a base hit by Thompson. The Rangers could have a 2-0 lead. Bobby hitting at .212, batting left against the right-handers. From the belt, Frost checks Hara at second base, and in comes the pitch. Low. He lost him. Ball 4. That's the second walk given up by Frost. Now the Rangers have runners at first and second. Good speed on the pass. And Mike Hargrove, 1 out of 2, will be the batter. Mike with a single in the first inning, grounded out second to first his last trip, and that was back in the third inning. Rangers 1 run on 6 hits, 1 error. California no runs, 2 hits, no errors. And Hargrove is hitting at .263. Well, he's up there right now with a chance to increase that RBI production department. He has 22, and he has Hara at second. Bobby Thompson, who can really run, is on at first base. Dave Frost peering in. He's given up a bunt single and a walk here in the inning after getting the first 2 men on ground balls. Check swing, low inside. 1-0. Or Campaneris would be next. Well, I noticed our manager, Roy Parks, indicated about 33,000. I think that's what Jim passed along. He may be close. An awfully good crowd on hand. Here's the pitch. Hargrove rips one down to Gritch at second. On one hop, he gloves it, tosses over to first, and the side is retired. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 stranded. We have completed 4, and our score, Texas 1, California nothing.
WBAP 820. Does your car sputter and cough all the way to work? It might be time for you to give it a tune-up. And Ashby Auto Parts can provide you with the highest quality parts for your tune-up, including Champion spark plugs. Ashby Auto Parts says a tune-up can improve your car's performance. Give your car a chance to improve its performance. Stop by Ashby Auto Parts with 3 North Dallas locations for the high-quality automotive parts you need for your tune-up and Champion spark plugs.
History buff George Goebel here saying since Vickers started way back in 1918, they've known you want gas fast, friendly, and priced right. So Vickers has hundreds of stations putting smiles on the kissers of nice folks like you. I don't remember when Vickers started, but Alice does. She was born the year they invented rope.
The newest of the new Ranger publications is available at all Ranger home games. It's called Pennant Fever and brings you inside stories and interviews with manager Bill Hunter, Richie Zest, Bump Wills, and much, much more. On sale here at Arlington Stadium only. Ken, I think you got some baseball fans in tonight to watch the ball game.
Yeah, Bill, we had some, I guess about 6 guys come in from Denver area. Be surprised you can pick up the game there. Robin Tech customers and some good baseball fans. Ken and Dave, I guess it is, Gilmore, Ken Poliski, Tom Yerke, Gary Cook, and Paul Rossi. I hope they enjoy the game, and hopefully they'll have a team there, and we come out and visit them next year.
Well, yeah, that's quite a possibility, all right. Here we go, and Dave McNamara starts it off, takes the pitch low inside, a right-handed batter, hitting at 286. We mentioned he saw very little action. So far, it's been in just 3 ball games to the plate 7 times now. Pitch right through, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bottom 3 in the order, McNamara, Miller, and Downing to face John Matlack here in the 5th inning. And the pitch. Swung on, fly ball, hit in the air, center field. Coming on, Thompson waits, backs up a couple of steps, and has it for the out. Well, let's see. That's 4-5 in a row put down by John Matlack. Last man to reach was Dave Chalk with a single back in the 3rd inning. Rick Miller down on strikes. He has a 9-game hit streak going. He's got a pretty tough chore against the tough left-hander John Matlack tonight. They'll play him in the outfield to hit the ball the opposite way and just about straight away in the infield. They give him that right field line as Bonds really moves over toward right center. And Zisk crowds the line in left field, and Thompson's over in left center, in center field. Hitting at 257, Miller with 1 homer and 15 runs batted in. Curveball, for a strike, good pitch.
Looks like they got to really thinking now. The last time up, they didn't throw him anything but fastballs. Now they started off with a curveball. So he's really wondering now.
Here's the 1-strike delivery, another curve, and this one just tails off outside for a ball, and it's 1-1.
You know, you and I could go out there and play in right field down the line. I don't think we'd bother anybody.
No,
there's enough room down there.
Oh, yeah, nobody getting your way. 1-1 the count on Rick Miller. This guy's always been a fine defensive ball player. Here's the next delivery. Swung on. A foul ball ripped back to the screen. The count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. You know, Ken, you say it always, but when you come to a ball game, fans especially should keep their eyes on that baseball. It gets in those seats in a hurry.
Well, you ain't kidding. I'm jumpy up here. I'm not used to foul balls this
far
back.
You were so close to it when you played that you didn't have time to get jumpy.
No, I just got hit or something like that, and figured out where the bruise came from 2 days later. But I'm going to drop my coffee up here before the night's over.
1-2. There's the ball on the ground to Campaneris at short. Gloves it cleanly, throws to first in time for the out. So Miller is out of there. Short to first. Campaneris to Hargrove. 2 up, 2 down, and here's Brian Downing. Hit a ball hard to left field, and a fine running catch made by Zisk. Coming in as he got a great jump on the ball, as Ken pointed out. Took the ball right off of the top of the shoelaces for an out. He led off the 3rd inning, so he's nothing out of 1. Hitting at 217. 2 men are down. They really played this guy to pull, a right-handed batter. Open stance, looks at a breaking ball down low. 1 ball and no strikes. Matlack has given up only 2 base hits, and both have been of the infield variety. 1-0 delivery, low inside again. 2 balls and no strikes. Top of the order, Bobby Gritch on deck. California has hit 1 more homer than the Rangers, 49-48. 2-0 delivery. In at the knees for a strike call, 2-1. I tell you that Boston and Milwaukee, they have hit some kind of long balls this year.
I'd like to have the ball contract to furnish some balls.
Ooh.
You could retire.
2-1. Gorman Thomas hit his 17th today. That guy's having quite a year for the Brewers. There's the ball hit sharply to Campaneris. On a couple of hops, he gloves it, flips to Hargrove, and it's an easy 1-2-3 inning. Down go the Angels, and they have batted 5 times with no success. We head to the Ranger 5th with the score still. Texas 1, California nothing. It is Denison night here at the ballpark, and tomorrow will be Knights of Columbus night. And they have the group sale situation. If you'd like to have some more information about that, you'll want to call the group sales department and get a group together. And that number is 273-5222, and they have special discounts available for Sunday through Thursday games, excluding promotion night and selected weekend games. So you got a group of 50 or more, you can save $1 on each ticket on selected reserve seating, and also receive scoreboard recognition. Here's Cabaneras, who's nothing out of one tonight, laid down a sacrifice and been down on strikes. They're sitting at 184 to be followed by Wills and Ziss. So Dave Frost will be looking at the second, third, and fourth men in the Ranger order here in inning number 5. Well, we played half of it, Ken, and it's a 1-0 ball game. One of those pitchers' battles. The Rangers have had 6 hits, and California only 2. Pitch is in at the letters for a strike. Ken, we've had a lot of people, I'll let you do the explaining since you were a catcher. They want to know where the letters are, when we refer to a strike at the letters. Here's the pitch, swung on, drill, foul, hard, down the left side, out of play, and the count is no balls, 2 strikes.
Bill, that's a good question, because normally, many times I've asked the umpire the same question.
Yeah, where are the letters?
But it's just about right under the armpits, somewhere in that area, and I never really had a chance to really study exactly where it's at, but it depends with the umpires. It's usually right from below the armpits to the knees, and it depends on how the guy stands up there.
Cabaneras is hit for the second straight night, and he is an unhappy man. Durwood Merrill out to grab him, keep him from going to the mound, and Cabaneras has been hit so many times and hurt this year that I think he is getting to be a little bit really upset, and he is signifying as much as he's holding both hands out, saying, "Why me?" apparently. He was hit last night, hit again tonight, and he's been hurt on a couple of occasions, had to leave the ball game, was put on the disabled list with a fractured finger once this year out in Seattle, then had not been much longer after that until he was struck again and had to miss a few ball games. And I think Marty Springstead and the plate umpire, Durwood Merrill, out and perhaps issuing warning because Campy was hit last night in the ball game in the 7th inning of the second contest and had to be taken out. And Bill Ziegler's out there. Looks like it struck him on the left arm as he's doing a little rotating motion with that.
Yeah, normally if you see a guy get hit in that area, on the high part of the back or up in the, I thought it almost got him in the head. It's the pitch that just gets away from the pitcher. To give you an idea, when somebody may be throwing at somebody, it'll be right about the hip or somewhere around the thigh area, and it'll usually be behind him because you can't get over it or under it.
Well, in a 1-0 ball game.
Right, there's no reason for it. But
nobody on, no. You're certainly not going to try to put that leadoff batter on.
But I know how Campy feels. He's saying, my gosh, I'm giving you plenty of the plate. And but the kid has been a little while. He's been 3-2 with several guys. So
here's Wills, a pitch out and nothing on as Cabaneras is a threat to run. Burt swiped 11 out of 13 this year. Boy, I'll tell you, the Rangers doing some kind of job running those bases. And the stolen base department, they're 86-28. That's a little better than 75% now. Successful twice tonight. There's another move over to first base. Cabaneras is extending out awfully good lead, and he has to slide back in to beat that one. We were talking about the letters, of course. I think where it originally came from, Ken, you're right about the armpit level. Another throw over to first base. But that is where the team's name is across.
Correct.
Like the Angels, just about armpit high, and that phrase was picked up many, many, many years ago, and it's always stuck with baseball. It the pitch is in there at the letters. There's a pitch inside and picks up the corner for a strike, and it's 1-1. Bill, 1 strike.
Since we had a break here just a second, a lot of times you see a guy, kind of bend over and get real low in the box. It doesn't really lower the strike zone unless that is the position from which he hits. If he gets low but yet he stands up to hit, it doesn't do anything to the strike zone.
Right. Pitch is high, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike. Wills hitting at 237. Bump has walked, single, and scored the game's only run. Also has a stolen base. He's up there right now with nobody out, and Cabaneras, who has been struck by a pitch on at first base. Left-handed batter McEmore plays on the grass at third base. Going to get a little activity as the throw goes over to first base. Down the left field line. Number 41, Dyer Miller, a real workhorse. He was in both games of the doubleheader last night. Gets up and starts the throw. Here's Cabaneras running. The ball is swung on, popped down to Baylor. His only play will be to grab it and step on first base. So Wills does the job as he hits the ball to the right side of the infield and moves Cabaneras over. to second base. Unassisted put out on Wills by the first baseman, Don Baylor. And with Zest coming on, going to have a little meeting at the mound. Gritch comes on along with the catcher, Brian Downing, to chat with Dave Frost. Ritchie singled in the first inning, again in the third, and with the third inning single, he drove in Wills from second base with the game's only run, and that was RBI number 47 for Zest this year. He leads the ball club in that department. And he's stepped away from Don Baylor, who has tied him with a two-run homer yesterday at 46. Baylor still has 46. Time is taken momentarily. Now, Fred Koenig, first base coach for the Rangers, wants to have a couple of words with Campaneris. Fred calls time. And any particular reason that you might have this going on right now, Ken?
No, unless it's just a case where sometimes Fred would give certain signals, and maybe there's something they're trying to do, or maybe they just want to make Campy aware of the fact that they may be trying the Angels some kind of pickoff play or something, and just make him aware of something that they talked about or something somebody else has seen them do.
Okay, Dave Frost in a little bit of trouble right now by hitting a batter, and then an infield out advances Campaneris over into scoring position at second base, and Zescu is 2 for 2 and now hitting at 289 is the Ranger batter. Bonds is on deck. A look to second, but Frost, here's the pitch. Breaking ball low and away, and it's 1 ball, no strike. Not been able to pick up that outside edge too much with that breaking pitch.
No, he's been behind with it. He hasn't gotten it over, and I don't think he's gotten one curveball over. He got that one big slider over that we talked about early in the game, but he's been very inconsistent with his breaking pitch.
1-0 is the count on Zest. Here's a wheel and a deal back to Gritch, who's then trying to trap Campaneris off at second base. Burt slides in safely. Tell you what, Campaneris is pretty feisty because he's not nearly as large as a 6'5" or 6'6" Frost is. Here's the pitch, swung on a drive to left field, fading off, foul. Well, that was a lot of trouble had it stayed fair. Zest just a touch in front of that pitch and pulled it foul. 1-1 the count. Line drive into the lower deck down the left field side. Got the 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. And a 1-0 Ranger lead as we play in the Ranger fifth. And starting to whoop it up a little bit, trying to get something going. Dave Frost, 6'6" right-hander. Campaneris runs. The pitch taken low and inside to throw. Not in time. Campaneris is swiped third base.
I guess Campy getting hit there got his adrenaline going, and I thought the pitch before he was going, and if I had to guess, Bobby Gritch came in before Zisk came up and was talking to Frost. It might have been what he was telling about is to hold Campy close to second, and he wasn't looking at him.
Well, that's the 12th stolen base of the year, but Campaneris, he's only been caught on 2 occasions, and the count is 2 balls, 1 strike, so that'll bring the California infield in. That's pretty dangerous with a guy up there like Zisk. Campaneris comes down that line with a long lead. Frost into the line. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. Ball 3. So he's behind Zisk. Campaneris really giving Frost a problem over at third base. And Zisk will either see a good pitch or he'll be on base.
He's got to be very selective here. He's got to look for the pitch he wants, try to ride it.
Here it is, 3-1 delivery, swung on, bounced foul up the third base side, and the count fills, 3-2. Seemed like he got on top of that pitch a little bit.
From a breaking pitch, took something off of it, and he's in addition to not being able to get the breaking ball over, it looks like he's not throwing it with the same velocity every time. One time he just kind of flips it up there, and that was one of those that he kind of flipped up, and Richie got out ahead of it.
All right, 3-2 count on Zisk. 1 out, a man at third. Campaneris starts his lead down the line. Here's the pitch. Swung on and rifle foul to the Ranger first base side. And grabbed down near the bullpen. So a 3-2 pitch remains. 3-2 on Zisk. Rangers trying to get a little more insurance for John Matlack. 1-0. They lead the ball game. We're in the Ranger fifth. Ross looks into Brian Downing, and in comes the pitch. High, ball 4. He walked him. That's the third walk surrendered by Frost. He has also hit a batter and given up 6 base hits. So now with 1 out, runners at the corners, and Bobby Bonds is a scheduled batter, and Jim Fregosi calls time and heads out to the mound. We might get a change right about now. We've had Miller throwing in the bullpen for a little while. I suspect long enough perhaps to be ready, but it may be that only Fregosi wants to try to calm him down. kind of situation. Well, he hit the leadoff batter, Campaneris, and that may have shaken him up a little. Well, we have a moment, Ken. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
This is WBAP 820, Fort Worth, Dallas.
When it comes to Ranger baseball coverage, the Dallas Times-Herald covers all the bases and brings it home every time.
Here's Bobby Bonds, nothing out of 2 tonight. Bounced into a double play and hit into a fielder's choice, hitting at 265. All right, Zisk is on at first base, and Campaneris over at third. Any chance that Hunter might send Zisk from first base? Not this time. Pitch swung on. Long, deep drive. Center field, way back. Going back is Miller. On the warning track. He makes the catch. Coming on to score. Campaneris easily comes on to make it 2-0. Oh, what a long, high drive. And you could see the wind catch that one into the deepest part of the ballpark. And Miller got back to make the catch. So a sacrifice fly over the bat of Bonds drives in run number 34 for him on the year. And the Rangers lead it 2-0. Well, that's 9 RBIs he's had in 3 ball games.
That's about as far as you can hit in this ballpark and not hit it out of it. It's right out there in the what we call the power alley where the 370 sign comes in with a 400, and I guess it would have to be probably a little over 400 in that area.
We're really out there, and I say it looked like you could see that ball dance a little bit as it got up into that wind, but it was really poked. All right, here's Putnam. Campaneris going from third base. Zisk holding on at first base. Now it's 2-0. And Putnam hitting at 190. He's up there, trying to get aboard and keep this inning going. Frost ready, looks to first. Change up outside. Ball 2, 2-0. 2 balls to nothing. Well, a hit batter. An infield ground out, a steal at third by Campaneris. A walk to Zisk. And then a long, deep fly ball that results in a sacrifice fly. Gives the Rangers a run. There's a strike call. 2-1 to Pat Putnam. Jim Sundberg would be next. Big crowd on hand. Don't forget, tomorrow night we'll conclude this homestand. Medich against Ossie in that one. Move over to first base. And Zisk hustle back ahead of the throw. Rangers will be hitting the road, and they'll be on the road going to Oakland, California, and Chicago. Here's the pitch. Putnam takes it right in for a strike call. 2-2. Rangers will be on the road a considerable amount of time in the month of July. However, after this road trip, the Yankees will be in on July 5th and 6th, then the Tigers for 3 games, then the All-Star break. Little as you realize, the All-Star game is not too far away. 2-2, the count on Putnam, and in comes the pitch. Change-up. Shrink 3 called, and Putnam knew it. A little soft curveball over, and that'll do it in the 5th inning. Rangers get a run, and after 5, it's Texas 2, California nothing.
WBAP 820. You weave people, fabrics, and ideas into the fashions the world is wearing season after season. It's your business. It's big business. And if you don't deliver the goods on time, nothing else counts. We understand. So at First National Bank in Dallas, when we do business with any business, we give you just what you expect from yourself. At First in Dallas, we give you results. Results. The real measure of a bank.
Just about everybody knows what a shock absorber is. But Johnny's Discount Auto Supply asks if you know what a bump, swerve, dip, sway, and shock absorber is. It's a Delco Big D. Not just a shock absorber, but a road absorber. Johnny's Discount Auto Supply store features Big D shocks. They have 15 convenient locations to serve you in Garland, Richardson, Wiley, and Rowlett, with most stores open on Sunday. It's a discount to everyone, every day, at Johnny's Discount Auto Supply.
When you're looking for a way to lighten your day, to brighten your day, think of flying away to the taste of yesterday, the old-fashioned flavor of pride. When the work is done, a day in the sun is a lot more fun if you try. Loading up and away to the taste of yesterday, the old-fashioned flavor of pride.
John Matlack will be looking at the top of California's order. Bobby Grich, Dave Chalk, and Lyman Bostock. Matlack has a 2-0 lead, and Ken, he's looking about as sharp as a pitcher can look.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball, it looks like exactly where they want to throw it, because the infielder's been shifting around on him, and they've made some pretty good plays right where the ball hit right at him, and which is indication that he does have good control.
Here's Gritch standing in, takes the pitch inside, ball one. Nothing out of two is popped to the short and popped to second. Here's some finals. Los Angeles 4-3 over Cincinnati this afternoon. Giants 2-1 over Atlanta. Pitch right through, strike called, 1-1. Well, John throwing at 88 miles an hour and Dave Frost at 86 miles an hour. Matlack up there with good velocity. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball low inside. Ball two, strike one. San Francisco winning over Atlanta 2-1. Pittsburgh beat New York 7-4. And St. Louis nothing. Montreal 1. That's through 6 innings tonight. 3-1 as the pitch misses the strike zone. Chicago 2 and Philadelphia has 6, and that is after 8 innings of play. Houston nothing. San Diego 2 after 2 innings of play tonight. Here's the 3-1 delivery. Lost him, ball 4, and that's the first walk given up by Matlack in tonight's ball game. So California has not had all that many runners, a couple of base hits, and then one man on a walk, and now an error has also given them a runner. So 4 all told. Here's Dave Chalk. 1 for 2 tonight. Single back in the 3rd inning. Infield base hit, hitting at 270. In the American League, Boston won this afternoon, we told you, 8-3 over Baltimore. New York 3 and Detroit 4. And now that has gone through 7 innings of play. Toronto 2. As Matlack readies himself, a look over to first base, and he's going to make the move over there, not in time. Cleveland 12-2 over Toronto after 7 full innings. Oakland 1, Kansas City 7 after 3 innings. So Royals not having any problems tonight. Delivery is high. Matlack having a little trouble getting the ball over to start the 6th inning. Minnesota 2 and Chicago nothing. That's through 5 innings of play tonight. Seattle nothing and Milwaukee 2 after 5 innings of play. So that'll bring you right up to date. Another move over to first base. Ken, how about the heat this time of the year here in Texas? I know it's very warm as far as pitchers are concerned.
Well, I guess the biggest thing they really watch at this time is are the number of pitches that the pitchers are throwing, because it can zap you in a hurry, and pitchers can lose it in this heat, I guess, right quick with one batter.
Next pitch is over, and it's a strike call. It's 1-1 on the batter, Dave Chalk, playing at shortstop in tonight's ball game. And another move is going to be made by Matlack over to first base. 1-1 on Chalk. Lyman Bostock will be next. 2-0, the Rangers lead it. They picked up a run in the 5th inning without the benefit of a base hit. Good running by Bert Campaneris. Really helped out in that. Wills moved him over to second on an infield out, and then Bert swiped third base, came home on the sacrifice fly. 1-1 pitch to the plate. Swung on, nailed foul past third. Count moves out to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rangers running the bases extremely well again. They've been successful on all attempts tonight. And Downing has been fairly successful over the year in tossing out runners. 1-2. From the belt, a check over to first base, and in comes the pitch. Fastball nailed by third base, just foul. Hara making a lunge, could not come up with it. Fortunately for the Rangers, it was just off of the bag foul. So the count hangs at 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one would have been real trouble, and that is usually in the 2-base category.
At least 2 down there, and of course it does protrude out there a little bit and look like a pinball machine sometimes if it's just right down there.
I guess outfielder over in that area where that comes out, if he's really charging at the ball, feeling that he might have a chance to cut it off, and the ball strikes that area and kicks back on the field, then possibility exists of an easy 3.
It's a lot easier to stop on the real grass like you have here at Arlington Stadium as opposed to, let's say, playing in Kansas City. It's awful hard to stop there when you're running full.
Here's the 1-2 delivery to Chalk. Bounced in, and a good save by Sundberg.
Sonny made a good play on that. That ball hit at least 2 feet or maybe even further in front of the plate, and the only thing you try to do there is just stay right in front of it and don't try to catch it. Let it hit you. If you try to catch it, most times you'll end up coming up on the ball and it goes underneath you.
You know, it's our opinion strictly, but it's a shame that Jim's not getting more votes in the All-Star balloting than he is right now, running third. Well, 2-2 pitch swung on, bouncing ball to Campaneris. His only play will be at second, and he makes that on the front runner, Bobby Gritch. Ball not hit that hard, and Campaneris charged it as hard as you could. Came up with it, but Chalk legs it out at first base, and the putout goes from short to second. Campaneris to Wills on the force of Gritch coming down. Chalk on at first on the fielder's choice. That'll bring on Lyman Bostock, hitting at 277, nothing out of 2 tonight. Left-handed batter with now 1 out. and 1 on.
No, we were talking about the All-Star. I hate to see the All-Star balloting be a popularity contest as opposed to really the guy that really deserves it. And I don't think there's another catcher in baseball that can catch and hit, specifically have the season that Sonny's had right now, and yet he's not going to be lucky to make the team, much less the starting catcher.
As the ball hit down the third base side, just off of the line, foul. As Rostock goes the other way, slams it foul, and it's 1 strike. Well, like Joe Morgan was talking today, Joe's for Cincinnati, and that name alone, he's always been there ever since he's been with the Reds on that All-Star team, and he says perhaps he's not deserving of it this year. There's some guys having better years than he is.
Now, I would like to see not to take anything away from the fans, but I would like to see the players vote on it.
There's the ball, stroked deep into left center field. Zisk getting back. He's there just before he hits the warning track. Makes the catch for the out, and retreating to first base is Dave Chalk. So a long fly ball off of the bat of Lyman Bostock results in out number 2. Was this just at the edge of the warning track to make the catch? Here's Joe Rudy, and he's been down twice on strikes tonight. In the second inning, called out as he led off the inning. In the fourth inning, out swinging as he led off that inning. Joe hitting at 198. 2 homers and 18 runs batted in. He's up there right now with 2 outs, and Dave Chalk over at first base. Walk opened the inning, then a force out, and now a fly ball to retire 2. Chalk leads away from first, and here's the pitch to Rudy. Swung on. There's the fly ball. Hit high and fairly deep to right field. Bobby Bond still on the move there, and has it for the out. So 2 fly balls. Put down any threat the Angels may have going. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the last of inning number 6 with the score, Texas 2, California nothing.
Cook for quality. Cook for service. Cook Paint. Always quality and service.
Cook Paint Decorating Center.
What can I do to make sanding a large surface easier?
Use a sanding block. You can make one out of a block of wood. Or better still, get one from us. They can save a lot of wear and tear on fingers, and you'll do a better job, too.
Thanks for the tip.
For quality paints and answers to any painting problem, ask the professionals at your Cook Paint Decorating Center.
In Arlington for the good times in 1978, Six Flags Over Texas is more exciting than ever. Now open, the Shockwave is the longest, tallest, fastest double-loop roller coaster in the world, and it's the biggest thing ever to happen in your imagination. And just 10 minutes east is the Southwest's largest wax museum, featuring the famous and the infamous in wax, as well as one of the largest antique gun collections in the United States. Only minutes from the museum, Traders Village, Disneyland, and flea markets, and more open weekends. All this in Major League Baseball, too. For vacation fun, come to Arlington.
All-American Night is coming up July 7th here at Arlington Stadium. It'll be baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet night. Chevrolet will be giving away an amazing new 2-door hatchback Chevy Chevette. You can register now and as often as you like at your participating Tarrant and Dallas County dealerships. You'll also be registering for a chance to win 2 8-day luxury vacations for 2 in Hawaii. And, of course, there's a 25-cent discount coupon on Fry Wieners from Fry Meats, plus a certificate for free apple pie from Jack in the Box. So don't forget, hurry to your participating Tarrant and Dallas County Chevrolet dealerships and register for the new 2-door hatchback Chevette. And be here for the ball game on July 7th. That'll be All-American Night, July 7th. You do not have to be present to win, however. Here's Jim Sundberg starting it off, nothing out of 2. And the delivery from Frost low for ball 1. Jim hitting at .311. Couple of home runs. 23 runs batted in. Right-handed batter is up there, and here's the 1-ball delivery. Swung on a high fly ball to right field, and pretty well hit. Bostock going back, and now has to come on as the wind caught it and settled it down in a hurry. So Sundberg with a high fly ball to right field is retired for the first out. That was the indication of how hard that wind's blowing. First of all, Bostock goes back rapidly and has to come in on it.
And, of course, that's one of the advantages of having the speed that Bostock's got, in the fact that he is able to come back and if he does overrun a ball or goes back like he did then, he can recover. But first, I guess he thought it was going to be way over his head.
Here's Hara, 2 for 2 tonight. Takes a soft curve for a strike. Hara doubled in the second inning and beat out a bunt for a base hit in the fourth inning. Toby hitting at .201. Also has swiped the base. Pitch is outside corner and picked up for a strike call. 0-2. 1 out here in the sixth inning. Rangers holding on to a 2-0 lead. And John Mackback has done a heck of a job as he's held California to only 2 base hits, both infield. Here's a pitch to Hara. And it's outside. The count of 1 ball and 2 strikes on Toby Harrah. Bobby Thompson will be next. Rangers got a run in the 3rd inning and added another in the 5th. Dave Frost delivers soft curve, ripped down to McNamara 3rd, bounces off his chest, races over, picks up, cannot make a play, and Harrah's safe at first base. That'll be his base hit, so Harrah's 3 for 3, and that was a shot.
Well, that was a shot. You get somebody hurt out there on something like that, and that's the one reason why I never wanted to play third base.
Well, that was a hot shot. Came right up off of the chest of young Dave McNamara at third base, and he started to try to recover, but saw he had no chance to make a play, so he just simply picked it up and let it ride. Here's Bobby Thompson. Nothing out of 1 tonight. He's been on once on a walk. Hitting at .212, Thompson batting left against the right-hander Dave Frost, who has now given up 7 hits, 3 of them by Harrah tonight. A double and a couple of singles for Toby.
Bill, can I ask you something while you just got a cup of coffee and a jar of ketchup?
I really don't know. 1 strike is the count on Thompson.
Do you get the hot dog next game or what?
I guess. I've never seen a combination quite like that. Harrah, threat to run, has 1 swipe here tonight. There's a ball that's tossed away over at first base. Harrah on his way to second. Round second, goes to third to throw, not in time. And Frost finally tosses 1 away, and Harrah winds up at third base. Seeing Harrah on the pitcher, Dave Frost. First error of the ball game committed by California, and he tossed that one away, trying to pick Harrah off at first base, and Toby winds up at third. That'll bring the infield in all the way around. A strike on the batter, Bobby Thompson now, a fly ball. A number of ways to get a run home from third. Infield drawn in all the way around. Well, that error cost the pitcher, Dave Frost, a couple of bases. Gonna work from the belt. Here's the pitch, swung on, bouncer right to Baylor. Thompson stops about halfway down. He'll turn and flip the ball over to Gritch covering, and Harrah has to hold at third base. Well, a pretty good play by the first baseman Baylor, and also Thompson was going to give Toby any chance if he had any at all to come home, but that was not the case. So a bouncer on 1 hop to Baylor, grabs it, flips over to Gritch, covering it first for the out. 2 men down now, and back to the top of the order, and Mike Hargrove, Ranger first baseman. Mike has singled in 3 trips tonight, twice has grounded out to second. Currently hitting at .262.
Got a little conference out on the mound now. It's just a case, I would assume, that Downing's out telling Frost. Many case, what is the situation? You get 2 outs, you get a man on third base. This is what the guy hit the last time up, and you just go out and remind the guy that he's hot or he's not hot, or he hit the first pitch or he hit a curveball last time. And sometimes you just take you wonder why they don't know what's going on, but you just want to make sure that everybody's aware.
Also, the fact that he made that error probably feels he might have been a little shaken, wants to calm him down, try to keep Harrah right over there at third base. All right, Hargrove steps in, and Frost ready to work to him. Here's the pitch outside, low, ball 1. 1-0 on Mike Hargrove. Rangers with a chance to put another run up on the boards. Philadelphia's won over Chicago tonight by a count of 6-2. Jim Cott the winner, and Ken Holtzman the loser. He's 0-2 now. Cott is 4-1. 1 ball to nothing on Hargrove. The pitch. Low and away. Ball 2. 2-0. Mike Schmidt had a home run, his 11th of the year with 1 on. At 41,000 in Philadelphia tonight. Phillies putting a little space between themselves and the Cubs. They beat them twice last night. Again, outside. Ball 3. 3-0 to Mike. Hargrove up there with a count of 3 balls, no strikes. Bill Hunter going to give him the green light.
I would assume that he would in this situation. It looks like that. Watching Fregosi in the Angel dugout now, it looks like they're trying to pitch around Mike, not give him much to hit.
Next pitch way outside, ball 4, and Hargrove will stroll to first base.
You know, Bill, I always like the situation, and especially when you've got a young pitcher, if you're going to pitch around him, you're not going to give much to hit. Don't take the chance. Just stand out there if you really want to walk the guy. And he's been behind a lot of pitchers, a lot of hitters, and hadn't got his breaking ball over. Just walk him. Don't even take the chance. I don't know how many times I've seen it happen. You pitch around a guy, you hang a slider, you hang a fastball, and the guy gets base hit and beats you.
Well, Detroit has won over New York tonight, 4-3. Tigers 4, the Yankees 3, and the winning pitcher Jim Slayton, losing pitcher Dick Tidrow at 37,000 flushed at Detroit. Tigers won it 4-3 after being pummeled last night by New York. Here's Bert Campaneris. Bert, nothing out of one. He's been on once being hit by a pitch. Later scored a run. Pitch to him, swung on, pop foul, out of play, coming back into the seats. Count of no balls, 1 strike. Campaneris, a very unhappy man when he was hit to that pitch in the 5th inning. Bob Wills would be next. Harrow over at third base. Toby's on there with his 3rd hit. And a errant throw to first base, resulting in an error allowing Toby to race all the way over to 3rd. And then Hargrove draws a walk on 4 pitches. Is down at first base. Walk to Hargrove, his 49th of the year. Here's the pitch. In for the strike call. No balls, 2 strikes. Wills hoping to get a bat. 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Rangers. Nothing, 2-1 for California. Frost peering in, and right-hander shoots one in. A line drive, spanked to Gritch, and he grabs it knee-high for the out. Hard hit ball off of the bat of Campaneris, and lining it right in the glove of Gritch. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 men left. We've completed 6, and our score, Texas 2, California nothing.
WBAP 820. If your central air conditioning goes out, Town & Country Heating and Air Conditioning suggests you replace it with a new Carrier heat pump air conditioner. It'll cool your home or business in summer, heat it in winter, and save you money year-round. Cost-conscious people are turning to a Carrier heat pump as the #1 solution to high utility bills. Call your certified Carrier dependable. Town & Country Heating and Air Conditioning in Fort Worth for all the heat pump facts. Carrier, we can't control the weather, but we can help you control its cost.
Does your car sputter and cough all the way to work? It might be time for you to give it a tune-up. And Ashby Auto Parts can provide you with the highest quality parts for your tune-up, including Champion spark plugs. Ashby Auto Parts says a tune-up can improve your car's performance. Give your car a chance to improve its performance. Stop by Ashby Auto Parts with 3 North Dallas locations for the high-quality automotive parts you need for your tune-up and Champion spark plugs.
Angel first baseman Don Baylor will start it off here in the 7th inning for California. Last inning, Adlack still throwing up there at 88 and Frost 83 miles an hour. And Kenny pulled something on that last pitch that retired Campaneris' first one that he tossed tonight, and he dropped down sidearm and fired a fastball in and got Bert to line it hard to Gritch for the out.
Yeah, he tried something a little different. I guess after the last time he faced him, he hit him and thought maybe it might bother him, but the veteran that Campy is, it just doesn't bother a veteran ball player.
Here's Baylor, nothing out of 2 tonight. Ground out and a pop out. Swings, hits it to Harrow at 3rd on 1 hop. Toby waits on Hargrove to get the first, then delivers a strike for the out. 1 up, 1 pitch, 1 man has been put down, and that brings Merv Retman on. Been on an error and hit a fly ball to center field. Nothing out of 2. Merv batting at .254. Dave McEmer is the on-deck batter. In the Ranger ballpark here tonight, they own a 2-0 lead, and we're in the top of the 7th inning. Texas trying to make it 3 in a row over California.
Bill, if I'd have to say that they are anticipating Redmond to pull the ball, Hargrove's got to be almost halfway to second base.
It really is. Shorten up on that bat that time as though he might lay one down. Taking another reading of John McNamara, the coach down at third base. Bob Clears up at first base. Have not had much activity tonight. Here's the 1-0 delivery. High and away, ball 2. Two balls to nothing on the batter, Merv Retman, up there with 1 out. Baylor opened the inning by grounding sharply to third baseman Harrah. Pitch right through for a strike call. 2-1.
When Merv first came up, he was a straightaway hitter and would go to right field with very good power. In fact, most of his power was into right center and left center. And, of course, he hasn't been playing much, and his timing's got to be a little off.
Next delivery, taken at the belt for a strike. Matlack picking up that inside corner, and the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dave LaRoche done a fine job for the Angels, warming up the bullpen. There's a ball hit on 1 hop to Wills at second. Gloves it. on the first for the out. Wills to Hargrove, second to first. There's 2 out here in the inning, and that will bring to the plate Dave McAmer, the third baseman, has a single and has hit a fly ball to center field. 1 for 2 tonight.
I would say in addition to the base hits, he's probably got a hole in his chest.
Yeah, he really did. Oh, he took a shot back there off of the bat of Toby Harrah in the 6th inning. Ron Jackson bruised his chest yesterday diving for a ball, had to leave the game. Pitches in there at the knees for a strike call. Detroit has won over New York tonight, 4-3. Kansas City has a big lead over Oakland. Minnesota still leading Chicago 2-0. Jim, what inning is that Kansas City ball game in now? Here's a 1-1 pitch. McAmer in the 5th inning, 7-2. Kansas City leading. Pitch missing, and it's ball 2, strike 1. McAmer up there, trying to get aboard. The Angels been able to do very little against this left-hander. First time they've ever seen him. Here's the pitch. Swung on, drill, foul, out of play, carrying well down right field side. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cleveland after 8, holding Toronto 12-3 now. And Milwaukee after 5, leading Seattle 2-0. Here's the 2-2 delivery. McAmer swings and shoots one foul back on the net and holds it 2-2. He's batting at .250. Rick Miller would be next. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Tomorrow night, Doc Medich goes for Texas. Don Ossie up for California. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, ripped into right field. Bonds had him played just about right. Steps in a couple of strides and grabs it for the out. No problem for Matlack here in the 7th. Angels go in order, and we go to the Rangers stretch 7 with the score Texas 2, California nothing.
When you love baseball and the Texas Rangers, you want to know more than the score. Randy Galloway gives you more in the Dallas Morning News. He describes the action so you can relive the victories and understand the defeats. His stories are as emotional as the sport itself. You can feel the excitement, the temper of a close call, the cheers of the crowd, and you're there with Randy Galloway. No one reports the Texas Rangers better. All the things you care about, you'll learn more about in the Dallas Morning News.
When you go to see the Rangers play this summer, why not see everything else, too? From 50 stories up, at the top of Reunion Tower, ride a glass elevator to a new level of excitement, gaze out from the breathtaking observation deck, or enjoy a spectacular evening high above downtown Dallas and our revolving restaurant and cocktail lounge. It's all right next to the new Hyatt Regency Hotel, just a few minutes from Arlington Stadium, and a few years ahead of its time.
Rangers 7th inning, and a big crowd upstanding and getting ready to watch Bump Wills started off for Texas here in the last of the 7th inning. Zisk and Bonds to follow. Rangers making the most of a couple of hits to produce a run the 3rd inning. Then they made the most of a hit batter and a stolen base and a sacrifice fly for another run in the 5th inning. And here's Wills. We got a new pitcher coming on, and that should be Dave LaRoche, left-hander. Am I right, Ken? Let's check that.
It looks like LaRoche.
Yeah. So Frost is all through after going 6 innings tonight. Yep, that's him. And Wills batting right-handed. Fouls the first pitch back in the mezzanine area, and that was a sharp one. So LaRoche is on, left-hander for California. And LaRoche has done an excellent job, winning 6, losing 3, and this is his 26th appearance. He also has 7 saves and a 3.58 earned run average. So LaRoche is on after Frost works the first 6 innings, allowing 7 hits. Next delivery from LaRoche missing, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
California, number 17, Dave LaRoche.
4 walks rather by Frost, and 1 strikeout, allowing 2 runs. There's a pitch hit deep to left field. Going back, the left fielder, Joe Rudy. He'll have room. Steps in a couple of strides and makes the catch for out number 1. So Dave LaRoche is on to pitch here in inning number 7. Frost going 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs. Walks 4, strikes out 1, and hit a batter. And right now is the pitcher of record. Richie Zisk, who has a perfect night going, 2 for 2 plus a walk, and has driven in one of the 2 runs tonight, hitting at 289. Big right-handed batter takes a pitch low inside, 1-0. Minnesota 2, and Chicago just rallied for 4 runs in the 6th inning and lead the Twins 4-2. Guess who hit a home run? Here's the pitch. In for a strike called. It's 1-1. Claudell Washington hit his 2nd home run, the 6th with 1 on, and Wayne Nordhagen hit his 3rd in the 6th with nobody on. And the White Sox score 4 runs to lead the Twins 4-2 after 6 innings of play. Change-up outside, and the count goes to 2 balls, 1 strike. 2-1. 1 out, nobody on. Bonds is on deck.
Well, that last pitch, what you call a real change-up, he didn't throw it hard enough. I didn't think it's ever even going to get to the plate.
A real lollipop, wasn't it? Here's the pitch. Fastball drilled out of play. Foul high and off to the right side, and the count levels at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 on Zisk. Well, Milwaukee's scored a couple more. As a matter of fact, 3 more now. And after 7 innings, they have a 5-0 lead over Seattle. Todd is now pitching for Seattle in the 7th. Here's the pitch. Inside, just off of the corner, and the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Larry Heisel has hit his 12th homer for Milwaukee in the 7th with 1 on. And they lead Seattle by a count of 5-0. So Dave LaRoche on in relief will have to fire 3-2 to Zisk, and here it is. Swung on, breaks the bat in half, sends a ground ball to McNamara. Over to Baylor, he goes with it for the out. Well, you talk about a splintered bat. That one, he chopped it right in half.
Well, I guess it landed all the way down there past Pat Corrales, third base coach, and I was watching the bat. I thought that was the ball for a second.
He just about divided the bat equally, and that is the 2nd out. Now, as far as 10 seconds for station identification, this is the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
This is WDAP 820, Fort Worth, Dallas. George Goebel says save now on all Bemco Posture mattress sets at Gentis Interiors, Madill, Oklahoma.
Bobby Bonds stands in. Here's the pitch. Hard swing and a miss. Strike 1. Bonds, nothing out of 2 tonight, has driven in a run with a sacrifice fly in the 5th inning. LaRoche ready, and here's the next delivery. Change up outside, and it's 1-1. Bonds hitting at 265. Cleveland has won tonight 12-3 over Toronto, and a real oddity. Cleveland had 15 hits and got 12 runs. Toronto, 14 hits, got only 3 runs. Swinging, missing, strike 2 on Bonds. Winning pitcher, Paxton. The loser is Clancy. Alexander, his 12th homer. He had a grand slam. That may be one of the reasons they scored so many runs. 12-3, Cleveland over Toronto, and they were out hit by only 1. Here's the pitch. High, and the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 on Bobby Bonds up there with nobody on and 2 out. Pat Putnam would be next. They can keep it going. Outfield shifted well off to the left side for Bonds. Change up, just missing. And the count is full, 3-2. So LaRoche run the count full on both Zisk and now Bonds. Dave LaRoche peering in to get that sign. He's making his 26th appearance of the year, so he's been quite active. Good record of 6 wins, 3 losses. Also has picked up 7 saves. Here's a 3-2 delivery, way high, and Downing had to leap up to pull that one down. So LaRoche has walked a man, giving the Rangers a runner with 2 outs, and Pat Putnam will not come out, and Kurt Babakwa will come on, a right-handed batter with the left-hander Dave LaRoche out there. So Putnam is out of the ball game now, going 0 for 3 tonight, and the right-handed batter Babakwa will step in. Here in the 7th inning with the runner Bonds on at first base, certainly a threat to run. Babakwa hitting at 155, 1 homer and 4 runs batted in. Wants to take a reading of Pat Corrales, third base coach for the Rangers, before stepping in. And LaRoche peers into Brian Downing now. Bonds with a sizable lead will draw the throw. Doc Ellis up and throwing in the bullpen for his next start. Rangers will be off on Monday and then journey to Oakland. Open a 3-game stand there on Tuesday. Here's a pitch to the plate. Taken outside, ball 1.
Bobby's got a good lead at first base, but LaRoche is a veteran pitcher, veteran relief pitcher, and has got a very good move to first base. It's right on the borderline to being a balk, stepping toward first base.
Pitch to the plate, high, pop fly. Right side of the infield, and Bobby Gritch calls for it. He's there to make the grab. So a sky-high pop-up in the infield retires the side. Nothing doing for the Rangers. They strand a runner, and that's 10 they've stranded in 7 at-bats. We head to the 8th with the score, Texas 2, California nothing.
WBAP 820.
How many agents can offer you protection from the #1 insurer of homes and cars, and one of America's largest life insurers, too, and just one number to call when you need help? Just one. Your neighborhood State Farm agent.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Brought to you by your Metroplex State Farm agents.
Love those guys, enjoy a real slice of American life. Good guys, potato chips, guys, fresh flavors, the one you like best. Good guys, potato chips.
When it comes to potato chips, Guy's Potato Chips strikes them all out in flavor. Guys are fresh cooked with real potato taste.
Enjoy a real slice of American life. Good guys, potato chips. Don't forget the guys, real potato chips.
Maybe all you know about batteries is that they're necessary to start your car. And you want one that will start your car. That's just what the Delco battery was made to do. So see Zimmerman and Sons, Cleburne, Texas, for a quality Delco battery. The one that supplies the instant burst of power needed to start your car, start after start. See Louis Zimmerman of Zimmerman and Sons, Cleburne, Texas. Serving Cleburne for over 65 years.
Number 8, the attendance tonight, 30,574, and the Rangers have gone over the 800,000 mark. Total attendance now, 802,610. And as Bert Hawkins just said, as they say in Kansas City, a plus factor over last year of 207,075. So 30,574 in attendance for tonight's ball game. They had 27,816 last night, so not a bad draw for a couple of nights.
Yeah, it's a super draw, and you know the way the division is kind of jockeying around right now for.
There's a bouncing ball hit back off of the pitcher, Matlack. Wills picks up, throws in time. He got him. Oh, what a play by second baseman Bob Wills. And now Rick Miller and Bob Fleer, the first base coach. They're going to jaw a little bit with the first base umpire down there, Marty Springstead. And Jim Fregosi gets out there right in the middle of it. And Fragosi's up in the face of Marty Springstead. Well, that was a very hot shot ball hit off of the bat of Miller, glanced off of the leg, apparently of Miller, brother of Matlack. Wills charged it as it got by him, and a snap throw to first baseman Hargrove just nipped him. That'll be 1-4-3 for the putout. Ken?
I think the thing that Jimmy's obviously arguing about is that Grover cheated a little bit, and or at least Jimmy thinks he does. Came off the bag too soon, but I thought he had him. Of course, I may be a little prejudiced, of course.
All right. By the way, Miller really put up a beat. He's got a 9-game hit streak going, and Fregosi is still down there putting on a chat with the first base umpire, Marty Springstead. He's the crew chief of this bunch. Fragosi's had his say and departs for the third base dugout.
You know, it's kind of a funny thing, Bill. Most first basemen, and it's just a kind of a nonchalant deal. Most of them, I think, do come off the bag, and but you never hear anything about it till it's a close play, and then everybody has something to say about it.
Standing in, Brian Downing, the catcher. Incidentally, John Lowenstein is in to play left field. Pitch in for a strike to Downing. He's nothing out of 2 tonight. Line to left, grounded to short. Lowenstein replacing Zisk in left field. Matlack works inside, bouncing all the way back to the base of the stadium. And the count is 1-1 strike. Top of the order, Bobby Gritch is on deck. It's the Rangers 2-0. In the California 8th. John Matlack ready, and here's the pitch. Outside, a little high, and the count is 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ball was hit sharply off of the bat of Miller, and Matlack had it striking, but Wills made an excellent play to get him. Here's the pitch. High fly foul out of play to the right side. Count of 2-2 now on catcher Brian Downing. hitting at 116 this trip in. He's now 1 out of 5 against Ranger pitching. 200. Saw service yesterday in both games. Here's the pitch from Matlack. Swung on a bouncing ball, shortstop way. Campaneris veering off to the left, grabs it, shoots it to Hargrove in time for the out. 2 men have been retired here in the 8th, and Matlack now has not given up a base hit since back in the 3rd inning. The only runner since that time was a walk to Gritch, who is now stepping in. That occurring in the 6th inning, and that is the only walk that Matlack has given up tonight. He's put 8 men in a row down since that walk. Gritch hitting at 224, right-handed batter. Takes a pitch just outside, ball 1.
I'm sitting here, Bill, doing a little figuring. Out of the 23 outs that Johns has had, 8 of them, only 8 of them, have been in the air, and which is a very good sign for John. He's keeping the ball down, the ball's sinking, and that's the kind of game he has to pitch.
This is just inside. Ball 2, no strikes on Gritch. Chuck would be next. Well, Matlack has made that run that he picked up in the 3rd and the one in the 5th stand up. Here's the pitch to Gritch, and it's in for the strike call. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, nobody on. It's got Miller and Downing on ground balls. Infield, outfield, playing Gritch off to the left side. Matlack works hard, and a foul ball cut back behind the plate. Count levels off at 2-2. Lowenstein, Thompson, and Bonds in the outfield. Hara, Campaneris, Wills, and Hargrove from 3rd to 1st. Sundberg still behind the plate, and Matlack on the mound, and comes with a 2-2 pitch. Bouncing ball, 3rd base side. Hara grabs it, fires to 1st in time. That'll do it. Again, the Angels go in order. No runs, no hits, nobody left. And we head to the Ranger 8th with the score still. Texas 2, California nothing.
The day is done. Coming home. It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind. Welcome home. So just say bud. Say bud. And pour the king of beers and settle back and please yourself. No matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of bud is like an easy chair. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Jim Sundberg, the Ranger catcher, will lead it off. Hara and Bobby Thompson slated to follow here in the 8th inning. Sundberg, nothing out of 3 tonight. Lined out, grounded out, and hit a fly ball to right field. Jim hitting at 309 this trip in. And he'll be looking at Dave LaRoche for the first time. LaRoche came on and worked in the 7th inning. Left-hander comes to the plate with a fastball strike right over. Dave Frost started the ball game. 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned. Struck out a couple and walked 4 and also hit a batter. Here's the 1-strike delivery. Swung on a bouncing ball to Dave Chalk. On the hop at short. Grabs it on to Baylor at first for the out. So short to first. And there's 1 man gone here in the 8th inning. Brings on Toby Hara. Double and 2 singles for Toby tonight. He's 3 for 3 plus a stolen base. Last time he was on, he was giving the pitcher Frost quite a bit of trouble and induced him to throw one wide at first base, and Hara was able to leg it all the way over to 3rd. Hara standing in, hitting at 205 right now. Here's the pitch. Toby looks at one outside, and it picks up the corner for a strike. Hara came in tonight batting at 193, so he's picked up 13 points. Here's the pitch, inside and low. 21 the count on Hara. Batting with nobody on and 1 out. Bobby Thompson would be next. 30,000 plus here tonight for the ball game. Rangers running over 200,000 ahead of the attendance of last year. LaRoche works 1-1. There's a popper on the infield on the right side. Don Baylor, the first baseman, backing up, and he makes a call and the catch for the out. So a pop off of the bat of Hara retires the second man of the inning, and that'll bring to the plate Bobby Thompson. Line to second, walked, and bounced out to the first baseman, with the second baseman, Gritch, covering to the out. You're looking ahead to the top of the ninth inning, who Matlack will have to face. It'll be Chalk, Bostock, and Rudy, unless Jim Bergosi, Angels manager, wants to go to the bench. Here's Thompson batting right-handed for the first time tonight. Looks at a pitch, over for a call, strike one. Bobby batting at 210. Left-handed, been hitting at 256. Right-handed, only 136. Here's the pitch. Swung on, foul ball, shot out of play, off to the right, and up, and it's strike two. So LaRoche gets two quick strikes on Thompson. Has retired Sundberg and Hara here in the inning. They'll be having a good night, a three-hitter. 3 hits and 4 appearances at the plate. Rangers now have picked up 7 hits on the evening. The Angels only 2. It's been one of those things. Runs have been scarce. Last night, Ferguson Jenkins got his first shutout of the year. There's the ball, fouled out of play to the right, and the count holds at 0-2. Got a little activity in the Ranger bullpen. Left-hander Jim Umbarger up and throwing, and that would be right-hander Steve Comer, I believe, up throwing. Here's the pitch from LaRoche, way high, and the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. So a left-hander Umbarger and a right-hander Comer throwing in the Ranger bullpen just in case. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Thompson. Swung on. There's a long drive. It's deep to left field. Rudy goes back. He looks up. That ball is gone. Home run, Bobby Thompson. T has just teed off on one and shot it into the seats high into left field. That is Thompson's first Major League home run, and it gives the Rangers a 3-0 lead. His 7th run batted into the year, and the Rangers up to give him the glad hand. I guess that feels good, Ken.
Well, sure does, and I'm sure John Matlack likes that extra run, and get a couple more, and it'll sure make him feel a lot better. Bobby hit that ball a long ways, and in a very stiff, in a very strong wind.
Certainly did. He got it up, and it looked good from the time it left the bat. Hargrove attempting to bunt, misses, and it's strike one. Mike's 1 out of 3 tonight. Has been also on a walk. Left-handed batting first baseman up there. Well, Thompson tees off to make it a 3-0 ball game. Inside, backed him out of there, and it's 1-1. Home run belted into the terrace seats and left by Thompson. So he's 1 out of 3 tonight. Happy young man. The 1-1 pitch. Inside and high. Ball 2, strike 1 on Hargrove. Bert Campaneris out on deck. That was the first hit off LaRoche and the first run. Rangers now 3 runs on 8 hits. LaRoche came on replacing Frost in the 7th inning. Here's a 2-1 delivery. Right down the middle, swung on a long drive, deep center field. Miller going back, still moving, and just before he touches the warning track, he pulls it in for the out. A long drive by Hargrove. So, 1 run for Texas on 1 hit. Thompson's home run. Nobody left on. And we go to the 9th with the score Texas 3, California nothing.
WBAP 820.
Jack in the Box. Now you cooking, Jack.
At some restaurants, a hamburger is the beginning and the end. At Jack in the Box restaurants, it's only the beginning. We've got everything from real onion rings to super tacos. When we tell you we're really cooking, we're really cooking.
The food never stops at Jack in the Box. The food never stops at Jack in the Box. Jack, Jack in the Box. Now you're cooking, Jack.
The weekend starts on Thursday on WBAP. Or at least the weekend weather does. Our staff of Texas-wise meteorologists begin covering weekend weather Thursday morning in the Don Harris Show. David Finbrock has weather for the Metroplex, for North Texas, and sea conditions for the Texas coast. Harold Taft continues to update that information with his special reports. So you see, the weekend really does start on Thursday with WBAP weather. Another service for WBA people.
Reminder, the Rangers will wrap up their current homestand tomorrow evening. Doc Medich, 1-3, will be going against Don Ossie of California, 4-3. Game time, 7:35. The Rangers off on Monday and then journey to the West Coast. 3 games with Oakland, 3 with California, and then to Chicago for a couple of ball games before returning home to meet the Yankees and Detroit, taking them right up to the All-Star break. Final call for the Angels. Dave Chalk, who has one of the 2 hits given up by Matlack, starts it off. Pitch Over but low, and it's 1-0. Chalk, Bostock, and Rudy. John Matlack looking at the second, third, and fourth batters for California. Dave hitting at 269. A right-handed batter chokes way up on the stick. Takes a pitch over for a called strike. 1-1. Well, it's the top of the ninth inning. 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for Texas. Nothing, 2-1 for California. Pitch just off of the corner, and the count is 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 balls, 1 strike on leadoff batter Dave Chalk, shortstop for the Angels here in the ninth inning. And in comes the 2-1 delivery. Swung on a bouncing ball, shot to Hara at third, grabs it on one hop, over to Hargrove, and there's one man gone. 10 in a row put down by left-hander John Matlack. Surrendered a hit, an infield base hit in the second inning, another in the third, and that's been it, with the exception of a walk in the sixth inning. Lyman Bostock, nothing out of 3 tonight. Left-handed batter takes a pitch right in there for a called strike 1. Lyman retired on an excellent play by Hargrove in the first inning. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Sidearm delivery, swung on, drilled down the left field side in a hurry is Lowenstein. It fades off into the crowd, foul ball, and it's strike 2. 0-2. Joe Rudy will be next. 1 out in the ninth inning. Rangers owning a 3-0 lead, and Matlack trying to wrap up his 6th win of the year. Pitch high and tight, backs him out, and it's 1-2. Rangers got a shutout effort from Ferguson Jenkins yesterday as Fergie won his 8th ball game of the year. 1-2 delivery, curveball wrapped on the ground, in the hole, shortstop Campaneris gloves. Throws, low throw, scooped up by Hargrove. He's out of there. Good play. Well, Campy had to scamper quickly to his right. Came up with the ball, fired over, and it was a little bit low, and Hargrove scooped it, and the first base umpire, Springstead, waited to be sure that Hargrove controlled it, and then gave the out sign. So there are 2 men gone here in the ninth inning. And California is down to their final out. Joe Rudy, who has struck out twice and hit a fly ball to right, is the batter up there hitting at 197. He's 2 out of 8 against Texas pitching, 250 average. Takes a strike from Matlack. 0-1 on Joe Rudy. Baylor would be next if Rudy can get aboard. And Matlack only an out away from picking up that 6th win of the year. Here's the pitch. Hart swinging and a miss. Strike 2. And now Matlack in the driver's seat. No balls, 2 strikes on Joe Rudy, the left fielder for the Angels. Matlack, fine form tonight. He has been extremely tough. Excellent control, has walked only 1. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Swung on him, missed. Strike 3, and there is the ball game. Rudy goes down for the 3rd time on strikes. The Rangers win it 3-0. I'll be back in 60 seconds with the final total.
Carl's Tasty Sausage, you can taste the quality. Texas made in white right by the McFadfish family. Carl's Tasty Sausage.
I'm Bump Wills. It takes a lot of energy to play second base. I get my energy from Carl's Tasty Sausage.
You can taste the quality. Carl's Tasty Sausage.
In Arlington for the good times in 1978, Six Flags Over Texas is more exciting than ever. Now open, the Shockwave is the longest, tallest, fastest double-loop roller coaster in the world, and it's the biggest thing ever to happen in your imagination. And just 10 minutes east is the Southwest's largest wax museum, featuring the famous and the infamous in wax, as well as one of the largest antique gun collections in the United States. Only minutes from the museum, Traders Village, Disneyland, the flea markets, and more open weekends. All this and Major League Baseball, too, for vacation fun. Come to Arlington.
Well, the Rangers win their 5th game in a row, and a dandy it was, as John Matlack hurls his 27th career shutout and his first as a Texas Ranger, and wins his 6th ball game against 8 losses, whitewashing California tonight 3-0. For Texas, 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, 10 left on. For California, no runs, 2 hits, 1 error, 4 left on. It took 2 hours, 16 minutes to complete the ball game, as 30,574 look on to watch Texas make it 3 in a row over California. Rangers now, as we said, have won 5 in a row, and will wind it up here tomorrow afternoon. Augmentage will be going for the Rangers against Don Ossie. A final score again, the Rangers 3, the Angels nothing. And the star of the game is next on the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
Rangers Baseball was brought to you by Chevrolet and your neighborhood Chevrolet dealers, who are serving up a fresh new slice of apple pie. The new size, quick size, mid-size Malibu. By Champion Spark Plugs. For surer starts and better mileage, treat your car to a fresh set of Champions. No matter what you drive, you can't buy a better plug. And by Anheuser-Busch, brewers of Budweiser, the king of beers. There's no better way to relax than with the easy taste of Budweiser.
The double play is baseball's defensive backbone. A triple play comes off, maybe once in a lifetime. But you'll work up a triple play every time you walk into Southwest Savings Association. 1, it's convenient. 2, it's safe. And 3, it pays maximum interest compounded every day. So start saving the triple play way at Southwest Savings Association. Your cash will be working for you, keeping you in the ball game, ready for any emergency. That's Southwest Savings in Dallas. First in any league.
It's time you got out of town. Maybe to taste some of the jazz, crabs, and Creole cooking of New Orleans. Or to relish the crisp air and the stunning peaks of the Rockies. Or to motor across the border into the magical land that is Mexico. Friendly Chevrolet knows that things start to get to you when you don't get away. And Friendly can help you do just that. In a new Chevrolet, or even your own recreational vehicle, you can glide along in quiet and comfort. And you'll also be soothed by how affordable a Friendly Chevrolet can be. And that's simply because more often than not, Friendly sells more cars at lower prices with higher trade-ins than any other Dallas dealer. And Friendly also offers you more choices right now with its unmatched inventory. So take a break without going broke. There's no better way to see the USA than in a Friendly Chevrolet.
Friendly Chevrolet, Limited in Wood, the auto crossroads of Dallas. It's Rangers wrap-up time, brought to you by your Dallas County Chevrolet dealers, who bring you the #1 deals on the #1 car in America, Chevrolet. Drive one today at your Dallas County Chevrolet dealer. And by the people in our town who bottle delicious, refreshing Coca-Cola. Coke adds life to baseball and all your favorite sports.
Rangers make it 3 in a row over the Angels here tonight, winning it 3-0 on a masterpiece by left-hander John Matlack. He wins his 6th ball game of the year against 8 setbacks, and Dave Frost takes the loss. He's now 0-1 on the year. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
WBAP 820, Fort Worth, Dallas.
When it comes to Ranger baseball coverage, the Dallas Times-Herald takes a big lead. Catch it at home tomorrow.
As it turns out here tonight, the Rangers got the only run that Matlack would need, and that occurred in the 3rd inning. As it happened with 2 outs, Bump Wills picked up a base hit, and then swiped second base. Richie Zist then pumped a single that chased Wills in with the first run of the ball game. As it turned out, that was a game-winning hit. Wills scoring and giving the Rangers a 1-0 lead. Zist had his 47th RBI of the year. The next run came in the 5th inning when the Rangers got a run without the benefit of a base hit. Bert Campaneris was struck by a pitch, moved over to second base on an infield groundout by Wills, stole third base, and then scored on a deep fly ball, a sacrifice fly by Bobby Bonds. Then the final tally came in the 8th inning with 2 outs. Bobby Thompson crashed his first Major League home run with a drive into the left field terrace seats, and that made it read the final count, Texas 3 and California nothing. Dave Frost takes a loss. He's 0-1. He went the first 6 innings, gave up 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned, struck out 2, walked 4, and hit a batter. Dave LaRoche finished up working 2 innings, 1 hit, struck out no one, walked 1, and gave up the 1 run. That was a home run to Bobby Thompson. John Matlack goes the route, and in 15 starts so far this year, John has now completed 8 of them. 9 innings, 2 hits, no runs, struck out 4, and walked 1. His 27th career shutout. The Rangers winning it 3-0, 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, 10 left on No runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 4 men have been left on. And we have Ken Suarez standing by with his star of the game, and the star of the game will continue in 60 seconds.
They call me Happy Tracks, 'cause I'm walking happy, feeling high, stepping snappy, moving my feet to the beat of a brand new day. What do you say? I'm making happy tracks, jogging in the sunshine, skating on the skateboard, having a fun time, drinking a Coke, 'cause Coke can't life to these thirsty days. Come along and make a happy track, living every minute, getting more out, putting more in it, making the sunshine shine on a rainy day. Come on, make a happy time. Make yourself a new friend by the Coke. Do that step again, Coke and Sprite. And you need a little life to make a happy time. Coke and Sprite, everybody wants to live a happy time. Make yourself a new friend by the Coke. Do that step again, Coke and Sprite. Everybody wants to live a life. Coke and Sprite, everybody wants to live a life.
Ken Suarez standing by with his guest Toby Harrah, who had 3 hits tonight, and that's switched to Ken Suarez.
Tonight, to have for star of the game a guy that I played with for 2 years. It's had a tough year, but I know him well enough to know that he's trying. He had a super night tonight. Toby Harrah, 3 for 4. Another fine night at third base. Toby, you look like you're a little more relaxed tonight. You're trying things that you normally used to do.
Well, I haven't got 3 hits in a long time in a ball game, so I feel real happy about that. But I'm really pleased. John really pitched a fantastic ball game, and there were some good defensive plays out there. Campy had a lot of tough chances, did a fine job. Bump made a heck of a play on that tough popper over the mound there, and Richie got a big hit for us there, and of course, Bobby hit that long sacrifice fly that usually on any other day is a home run. So it was just a team effort all the way around.
Toby, you did another thing that maybe that a lot of people may or may not have realized, but over at first base, Frost threw to first base, threw wild. The ball club is running a lot. They're playing more aggressive ball, much more aggressive ball than I've ever seen them play.
Well, I think, we got the type of talent where we can really try and steal a lot of bases. We got, I think, 5 or 6 guys that can steal 40 or more bases. So we really have, a good all-around ball club, and we're so versatile that there's a lot of things we can do to win ball games, and that's a winning team.
Toby, I know the hitting was always one of my hardest things for me to do, and it was always a hard thing to stay up defensively when you're having a bad time. What do you do, or what have you been doing to not let the slow starts you got affect your third base? Because you've been playing a fantastic third base.
Well, I just love to play baseball, and there's more to the game of baseball than hitting. And I think basically I like to consider myself an all-around ball player, so if I'm not doing one thing, then I have to go out there and concentrate on doing the other things well.
We'll be back with our star of the game in 60 seconds.
WBAP 820.
Fun trucks, work trucks, big trucks, little trucks. Chevy's got them all. Tough Chevy pickups, both fleet side and step side. There's Chevy Love, too. That's the economy price size half-tonner with a cargo box that's biggest in the industry. And that's not all. We've got Chevy mediums. And with 11 different wheelbases to choose from, whatever you need in a medium, you can get from Chevrolet. Fun trucks, work trucks, big trucks, little trucks. Whatever you're looking for is available. Boy, is it available. Some of the Chevy dealers in Dallas County have more trucks in stock now than ever before. In fact, they've got so many trucks in stock, they're ready to deal to move some of them off their lots. So if a truck is in your plans, be sure to see one of these dealers. He's making unbeatable deals now. Better hurry and don't miss out. The dealing dealers are Graff, Moore, Johnson, Newman, John Boswell, and Bruton Chevrolet.
And now we go back to Ken and Toby.
Again, here in the Ranger dugout, talking to the star of the game, a guy that, I'm about as happy as he is for having a good night. Toby here. Toby, the season about halfway over. What's the outlook for the Rangers? What do you feel about the Rangers? It looks like to me, I'm not here every night, but the guys are now finally getting to know each other and they're playing closer as a team.
Well, our pitching has been fantastic all season. It's just a matter of us being a little bit more consistent defensively and offensively, scoring a few more runs, getting a few more hits. And with the guys we got, there's no reason why we shouldn't. I think the way we played the last 3 or 4 nights are really an indication of the type of ball we're going to play the rest of the season. Now, we're just starting to really get going now, and there's no doubt about it. Our best ball games are yet ahead of us.
Would you say tonight is a typical game for Matlock? Of the 27 outs that he got, only 8 of them were flying balls. Is this the kind of game that John has to pitch or normally would pitch?
pitch?
Well, this has been his normal ball game. He's really pitched fine almost every time out. He's done a fantastic job. We just haven't gotten him any runs, and he's such a super guy, and he goes out there and just pitches his heart out, and I'm just really happy for him.
Toby, I know you're ready to get back down in the clubhouse. I appreciate you being here in many more 3-hit games, and I appreciate you being here. Okay, Bill, back up to you in the box.
Thanks, Ken, and to Toby for being our guest. We'd like to present him with a gift certificate for a famous Stetson hat from Longhorn Ranchwear stores in Dallas and Mesquite. Ranchwear is a name, tradition is their trade. They're the real Western stores. And also lunch or dinner for two at any Victoria station where everything is a cut above. Victoria Station in Arlington on Watson Road across from Six Flags. Also in Dallas on Ruth at Cedar Springs. That's the star of the game. Now stay tuned for the Ranger scorecard next on the Texas Ranger Baseball Network.
WBAP 820. Do you consider yourself a serious Ranger fan? Since you're tuned in right now, you probably do. If you are a hardcore Ranger follower, there's a good chance you already subscribe to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. That's because serious Ranger fans know the Star-Telegram has the state's largest combined morning and evening sports staff. And for a monthly subscription price that's much less than one reserve game ticket, that staff delivers more stories, stats, columns, photos, trades, deals, wheels, notes, and quotes than anybody else in the business. From press box to playing field, from dressing room to front office, from Pompano Beach to the playoffs, from our typewriters to your front lawn, nobody delivers Ranger baseball like the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. To subscribe in the Fort Worth area, dial Deliver, D-E-L-I-V-E-R.
In Graham, call Bill Hobbs at 549-3573.
First of all, let's take a look at the National League and action this afternoon. Los Angeles won over Cincinnati 4-3. 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. 3-13-0 for Cincinnati. Losing pitcher Hume, he's 2-7. Geronimo had his 5th homer in the 2nd with nobody on. Foster is 16th in the 8th with nobody on. Don Sutton, the winner, he's 7-6 now as the Dodgers win it 4-3. In other action, the Giants of San Francisco continue to pace the National League West with a 2-1 verdict over Atlanta. 2-9-0 for the Giants. 1 run, 9 hits, 1 error for Atlanta. Losing pitcher was Negro. He's 8-8. The winning pitcher is Jim Barr, 3-4. Pittsburgh wins over New York tonight, 7-4. 7 runs, 13 hits, 3 errors for the Pirates. 4 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for New York. Colby is the winner. He's 4-4. Parker had his 12th homer in the 1st with nobody on, and Milner his 2nd in the 12th with the bases loaded. 3 are on and a grand slam for John Milner. And that final again was Pittsburgh 7, New York 4. In other action going tonight, St. Louis nothing, and Montreal 1, and that has gone now through 8 innings of play. Fryman started for Montreal, Knowles in the 8th, and Garman came on in the 8th inning. Martinez started for St. Louis, and Lytle on in the 8th inning, and it's 1-0, Montreal leading it through 8 innings of play. Now the final, Philadelphia continuing to win as they've made it 3 in a row now over Chicago. 6-2 the verdict tonight, 6-8-0. And for the Cubs, 2 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. Losing pitcher Ken Holtzman 0-2. And the winning pitcher Jim Cott is 4-1. And Reed had a save in that ball game. Smith, his 11th homer in the 1st with 1 man on. The final again, Philadelphia 6, Chicago 2. After now 6 innings of play, Houston 4 and San Diego 3. Bannister working for the Astros. Jones started for San Diego. D'Aquisto came on the 7th inning. Winfield has had his 12th homer in the 3rd with nobody on for San Diego. 4-3, Houston leading through 6 innings of play. We'll take a look at the American League action when the scorecard continues in just 60 seconds.
WBAP 820.
This is George Goble for America's Kids. Every kid in the U.S. of A. has the potential to grow up to be a Vickers customer, so take care of them. Have them use those seat belts. You know, me and Vickers love kids. I was a kid once, not for long. Went off to school one day, came home. My parents had moved.
Life insurance, the State Farm way. It's designed for your way of living. If you're a homeowner, it's a sound way to help make sure your family will be able to keep your home. See your nearby State Farm agent today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Brought to you by your Metroplex State Farm agents.
In the American League this afternoon, Boston continues to make it tough on everybody in the American League East. They went over Baltimore 8-3. 8 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Baltimore. 3-7-2. Losing pitcher McGregor, he's 8-5. And the winning pitcher Louis Tiant, he's 7-0. Home runs in the ball game. Murray hit his 15th for Baltimore in the 4th with nobody on. And Dempsey his 4th in the 3rd with nobody on. For Boston, Hobson his 15th in the 3rd with nobody on. And Fisk his 8th in the 4th with the bases empty. Again, final Boston 8 and Baltimore 3. New York loses tonight to Detroit by a count of 4-3. For the Tigers, 4-10-1. For New York, 3-4-1. The winning pitcher Jim Slayton is 7-4. Clay started for the Yankees, relieved by Tidrow, and Tidrow takes a loss. He's now 3-5, and Lyle finished up, no homers in the ball game. And with the Boston win over Baltimore today, and New York also losing, now Boston has extended their lead over both Baltimore and New York to 8 1/2 games. In other action, tonight Cleveland wins 12-3 over Toronto. 12 runs, 15 hits, no errors for Cleveland. 3 runs, 14 hits, and 2 errors for Toronto. Winning pitchers Paxton, he's 4-4. Mungie finished up, and the losing pitcher Jim Clancy's 4-7. The home run balls hit in net by Matt Alexander, his 12th in the 4th with the bases loaded for Cleveland as they win 12-3 over Toronto. In a ball game now that has moved through 8 complete innings, it's Kansas City 7 and Oakland 4. Haskler started for Kansas City. Bird came on the 6th inning. Rinko started for Oakland. McCaddy in the 2nd inning as Kansas City scored 5 runs in the 1st inning, and they are leading now 7-4 through 8 innings of play. Pete Lecoq, a home run in the 1st with 1 on, with 2 on to give them a quick lead. 7-4, Kansas City leading with 1 inning to go. Tonight it is Minnesota trailing now Chicago by a count of 7-3, and that is through 7 innings of play. Minnesota 3 and Chicago 7. Wilbur Wood started for the White Sox. Willoughby came on in the 7th inning. Cordell Washington has hit his 2nd home run, the 6th with 1 on. Wayne Nordhagen his 3rd in the 6th with nobody on. Jackson started for Minnesota. Harrison in the 6th, and Thayer is pitching in the 7th inning. In other action, a final. Milwaukee has shut out Seattle tonight 5-0. For the Brewers, 5-7-0. And for the Mariners, no runs, only 3 hits, 2 errors. Losing pitcher Jim Colburn, he's 1-6 now. Todd relieved in the 7th inning. Jerry Augustine, the winner, is 8-8. Gorman Thomas, his 17th homer in the 2nd with 1 on. Larry Heisel, his 12th homer in the 7th with 1 on. And the final again, Milwaukee 5 and Seattle 0. Right here at Arlington Stadium, John Matlack in a brilliant performance, a 3-0 win on a 2-hitter over California. And thus, the Rangers will at least maintain 2nd place. And if Kansas City goes ahead and defeats Oakland tonight, Texas will only be a half game off of the pace set by Kansas City in the American League West. Rangers now have won 5 in a row, and for the first time this year are 5 games over 500. Final again, the Rangers 3, California 0, and we invite you now to join us again tomorrow evening for the Rangers and the Angels at 7:20 on the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
Rangers Wrap-Up has been brought to you by your Dallas County Chevrolet dealers, who bring you the #1 deals on the #1 car in America, Chevrolet. Drive one today at your Dallas County Chevrolet dealer. And by your Coca-Cola bottler, who reminds you that ice-cold Coca-Cola adds life to food and fun and everything that makes your living nice.
When you